Yeah, my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's actually going to be one of the late arrivals too. That'll be fun.
Yep. Welcome back, Kevin. That's okay. She's Samsara anyway. She won't be in the opening scene.
Yeah, true enough. Got a little bit of plot to go through before they show up. Okay, and I can close that window down, so I don't have to look at that now. Okay, and it looks like everything's mostly set up here in terms of this.
Yeah. See if we need to be impressing Kiva.
Yeah, well.
I think I'll have my Silshi character at the opening scene.
Yeah, playing those temporaries. Erg.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like how my Dujari and my Pajari Dark Force would be funny if they meet, and the Dujari would turn around realizing that the other guy knows what he does to cheat. He'd be like, I don't trust that guy, I don't listen to anything he says.
Yeah, don't be a prat.
Yeah.
Okay, who's Bunghole?
That would be Steely Destiny or Navius in there. He is Cornholio. He needs TP for his bunghole.
I wonder if I'm starting to think I don't see all the names here. It doesn't seem to stack them.
Well, it's now Phil. You can right-click on any of the names and hit reset all, and it'll realign them if you've moved them by accident.
That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that there's so many. There's going to be enough names down there. I don't know how long that bar is.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, there we go. It resized them a little bit. There we go. That helps.
I have returned.
And it looks like Phil still has his video or something enabled because it has a pause icon next to his thing.
Yeah, he might want to disable that.
Oh, that's why I'm getting an echo. World 20 has voice chat.
Oh, turn off that crap.
Yours, yeah. Turn it off. It causes lag.
Yeah, no shit.
The Roll20 chat voice is absolutely miserable. That's why we're using Disco.
How do I disable the audio?
In the settings gear icon at top right, turn it or scroll all the way down to the bottom. You have I want to broadcast, choose nothing, and I want to receive, choose nothing.
I have that on both on nothing, but it still looks like
try reloading, refreshing.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to reload.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. It's gone.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me when I started playing League again recently, and like, oh, there's in-game voice chat now. That's new.
Yeah, it's surprisingly not bad.
Yeah, it actually works fine, which it's nice.
Yeah.
There we go. Get to this stuff. Let me move these around so I can see what I'm doing here. It's gonna let me do that? What the hell's going on here? Okay, whatever.
Yep, and it looks like your sound is working fine on stream. I'm muting it now.
Okay, good. Let me see. There we go. Now it's letting me move the stuff around. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh, I know what it was. I was grabbing by the wrong point. Okay. Let's see. Anything else I need to move up there before I start minimizing this stuff to get it out of my way?
Okay, it's 3:53 his time, so in 2 hours and 7 minutes-ish, he'll be hosting us.
Okay. We will just start with that, I suppose.
Yep.
Can't run entirely by somebody else's time. That, and there's a little lead in anyway. Let's see now.
That's about the time when a lot of people are showing up anyway, like Jackie.
Story introduction.
Hello.
Build info,
Welcome
glossary, mundane skills. I feel like I'm missing something here. Didn't I do a handout for the...
Chapter 1 introduction and Dujari shape-shifting are at the top. I can move them to the bottom for you if you want.
No, I'm looking... I was pretty sure I put up the one for the training thing.
No, that's not to everyone yet. That's just you.
Oh, but I thought it was... Oh, wait. No. I'm under me on the main one here. Or
Are you joined as GM or joined as player?
Oh, son of a bitch. I got to rejoin for each side. God damn it.
Here, I'll
just not refresh the other one straight. I'll deal with that.
Here, I'll just put everything into your player access
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I need to have the full GM functionality, and I had to relog on this side because I only need the display screen for the other.
Yep.
There we go, because I just need the display stream for the... there we go, the stream. There we go. That's the one.
Okay, so Jackie is gonna be getting home from work earlier-ish anyway. Are you gonna pick it up again in the evening? Because we're gonna have to go shopping and like break for dinner. She was really looking forward. She was really looking forward to playing.
It's a little bit chapter based, and the way that the initial thing starts off is everyone's going to get a opportunity to join whenever the hell they get around. And right now, I'm just padding out time for a little bit before we actually get formally started.
Yeah, since the ship appears, and then people are just kind of walking towards to see what's going on. Whenever they arrive in,
Whenever they
kinda
arrive in
makes
here
it
is
to
when they
scene.
arrive. Yeah.
It's travel time.
But hopefully it shouldn't be hopefully that much longer before I can at least do the proper intro here. Yeah, I might actually end up having to clip this later and do a proper edit on the damn thing. We'll see. Fun, fun. That, and I want to give some folks a little bit of a chance to actually arrive and figure out what's going on here, because yeah. I just know my dogs are going to go nuts barking in a few minutes as it is. Yeah, when I first actually developed the game, I was calling it Freelance Vigilante, and then I changed it to Realms of Creation when we went multi-dimensional with it. And then some Japanese company came up with a game called Realms of Creation, so I've gone back to Freelance Vigilante. More or less, but yeah, it's technically 12th Tribe, and that's what we're the subset of it that we're running. And I'll do the intro in a moment, but for now it's just puttering around. This is kind of always the thing when you're running games, is there's that bit of time waiting for the players to assemble and for the streamer to get their button gear and figure out what's going on, that kind of stuff. So. Go through my plot notes. When's Jackie due? I mean?
I don't know.
I should probably resize that too so I can see a little bit better. This is my smaller screen. That's not a good thing. I should have thought of that. Will that work? Yes, it will. Yay! It's isolating that window. Rock the frick on. Actually, I might just resize the video on this screen. We'll see. Yeah, let's put that to 125 because my eyes are not what they used to be. Oh, it's already at 125. Never mind. That's as good as I'm getting on that one. Oops. I'll just have to figure out how to reposition this so it's actually somewhere within my visual field. That's fun. Let's hear it for stroke damage. Yay! And okay, get that cord out of my way. That's going to distract me. Get the camera out of that. Go away, camera. There we go. Okay, put that down there. Okay. Ooh, 2 viewers. Sorry if I'm boring initially. I have to get this. We're just getting assembled, more or less. It takes a little time.
No worries.
I just have to be cognizant of the fact that I'm actually streaming. Or vaguely, at least.
Can I have a link to your stream?
Yeah, I
Sure.
might grab it.
Copy
It should be
it.
safe to actually have. It should be safe to have that open because I'm not actually transmitting my window. Because screw that.
Kevin already placed it in the new joins text channel.
Actually, let's see. Does this? Did that work right? Maybe, maybe not. Why is it showing me joined as a wrong one? Let me double check that. Rejoin as GM. Make sure that worked. Okay, there we go. That should do it. Okay. Yay. All right, got it. As long as I don't refresh the other window, I should be good. Because no spoilers.
So, a tabletop game. If anyone is interested in watching, join, giving us a pity view count.
And nobody's on the map quite yet, so let's get that going now. And let's make sure that works all right. Okay, and grab my goofy self. There we go.
Okay. I've advertised it in a few different Discords, so we might have some people showing up.
Oh, that's nice. To view, I assume you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, let's zoom out on this one here so we have the full screen to go in here. Oops, not that far. This zoom gets really radical really quick. There we go.
Yep.
That should do the trick. That's close enough. There we go. We got our dock in front. Yay, we're getting vaguely organized now. And I will bounce everyone to here for the moment.
And because the Discord link is there and public chat is available to everyone, I'm going to start moving everybody down to the game-related chat. Don't worry
Okay.
about moving yourself. I can move everyone.
Oh, rock on. Actually, I'm going to put you just on planet in general, because screw it. Did that change that? No, it didn't. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, for some reason it's keeping FLV separate on that screen. Let me change that. Here, move you with the rest of the players. Thank you very much.
Hey, just drag them right on top of the ribbon.
Yep, got him. Got him. There we go. Probably actually resize that a little bit. This is just a general idea of what the outlay of the planet. So.
Yep. I remember that little raptor.
And that tiny little path over here that connects the two.
Can you point to where that heretics are and where
The heretics are. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me move
The
this.
heretics are just beyond this little mountain range up here.
Yeah, the heretics are up in this area. The E2 in general are down in the main mass here. The Silshi are from over this region, and the Dajari pretend to be whatever race they're hanging around with at the time.
I might have the full map still somewhere.
You know, yeah, we have that somewhere. Yeah, I actually have the one that we hand drew. This is actually taken from somebody who did a little bit of 3D work for me ages ago, back when I was in the Baldur's Gate modding community. So that's a thing. And I might have to adjust that size later, but let me knock that down 2 more notches. This is a fairly small map. Okay, here we go. And there we go. Not going to be the most visually appealing at this point, but whatever. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't have to be. This isn't one of the key maps. This is just a thing. There we go.
Yep, there you go. There's the hand-drawn one.
Oh, God. That fucking thing. Yeah, we can get rid of that thing. That's ugly as hell.
Hey.
It's ugly as sin. I don't care if you made that. That's ugly as sin, dude.
I mated it.
Put it below the main one then,
Oh,
if
okay.
you want to, for reference.
Delete it.
We'll just shrink this up a little bit and pop that next to it or what have you. So you have your reference with it. There we go.
There you go.
Well, it's 6 o'clock. I should at least do the intro. For the sake of the folks out there, we'll be starting in a little bit. I'm hoping a couple more folks will show up before we actually get to the initial sequence. But before that, we have to do the TLDNR segment, because I know damn right well people didn't read the handouts.
Yep.
Don't object if you did. I'm just being a pain in the butt, because I'm not positive that I would have. This is going to be the 3rd campaign of the 12th Tribe RPG, which is based on one little corner of Keralis, the same universe in which the stories of my books happen. And along that vein, everything that happens in Keralis stays in Keralis. So technically everything that happens in game on some level or another is canon in terms of the universe itself. To the point that if a character from one of the stories actually shows up or what have you, it is the actual character being represented in the game. And that doesn't happen often, but every once in a while I'll throw in a cameo. During Season 1, I threw in a cameo from a character named Baron Deloric, for example, which didn't go well. Somebody almost got the planet destroyed that time around. It was a bad, bad moment. guy that thought that he was a paladin decided that he was going to throw urine at the spacefaring pirate captain who had a fleet in orbit and could have blown up the planet. So yeah, not a bright movement. They ended up having to chase him down and kill him off, and we do actually have a little bit of a wall of shame. And he is. Let me see if I can bounce back to that script for a moment. I just jumped to the wrong one. That does not help. There we go. Okay, so we do actually have a wall of shame for people that have done epically stupid things, and he will forever be commemorated. Let's see now, add source, screen cap, smart select. Grab that for a moment, because we've had a couple people that have done such epic things that, yeah, they need to be commemorated in infamy, we'll just say. There we go, pop out of there. Oops, wrong window. There we go. Got it. And let me jump back over here.
Gary, no.
Yeah. Good old Gary got himself burned. Actually, it was kind of fun. Somebody was using a weapon they weren't even proficient with and managed a lucky shot. They rolled a 1 and basically disintegrated his horse from under him while he was trying to make a getaway. Yay, critical success. Unlike D&D, critical success is 1 in this game, as opposed to a 20. Because it's a little bit easier to keep track of whether you succeed or not if you're trying to go under a target number instead of having to have all the weird THACO stuff and all that stuff like D&D does. This is what happens when you make a homebrew. You can make your own rules, and it kind of works out nicely.
Yeah. The living running horse under him became a coat.
Be right back.
Oh, I didn't add that to the artifacts list. I probably should have.
Great steed hide.
Yeah. Not so great a steed.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog's running to the back. Are they about to bark? I'm waiting for someone to show up and make the dogs freak out before going on air, preferably, even if the noise suppression on this mic is pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people shown up so far. Shadow Tear's mouse moved a little bit ago. He should be here. Shadow, I see your mouse.
Have a seat, love. Want a headset? Yeah, want a headset? No, take some time, relax. You don't show up till later anyway. You're Samsara and you have time. It's a matter of when those people are available for something like this sometimes, huh? I expected the dogs to bark at you when you got in, though. Okay. You are in the disco, so whenever you're ready, I do have the headset here, or you can, yeah, whenever you're ready. But you're not in Soul Stage 2 of the plot, because you're Samsaran. We haven't even got started one yet. We're still spinning our gears, waiting for a couple more folks to show up, potentially. No, we haven't officially started, and we do have to start off by doing the intro read. So, we got a little bit of time still. And yeah, do whatever you need to, hon.
Hey, Jake. Welcome. Just in time. We're getting ready to start.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to go get food.
Good. If you want to jump him up on the list in Twitch, you can pull up his stream and just mute it and minimize it in the background.
Just make sure you minimize it, and the screen that's being mirrored there is through a secondary login that I have going right now, so that you don't see anything vital.
Yeah, but the big thing is don't take anything from chat and use it in game. It's a bad idea for the sake of your character.
Well, I don't know. I'm not too worried about that, honestly, at this point, because I'm not monitoring it, but it's generally a bad idea. If people want to commit, they can commit. I don't really care right now. And if they want to bitch and moan that I haven't started yet, they can do that too, but it's going to take a few more seconds. I have everything in theory set up here, but okay. And we refresh my screen on my end here, and it's probably going to make me switch to frickin' GM view again. We'll find out. Just make sure I have all the names in there. Oh, no, it looks like it kept it. Yay.
Hey, do I have to like minimize it because it's on the same tab thing as I have like my Roll20?
You don't have to minimize it. I'm just saying, it's a good idea to have chat visible. Like, you don't have to even follow that rule as long as you don't metagame.
Yeah, just it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I normally just leave the Roll20 up and ignore everything else other than my side notes and the little script bits and what have you.
Where would I even metagame? Like chat, Twitch chat, you mean?
Yeah, if Twitch chat gives you an idea that your character wouldn't have had anyway, and then you use it in game, it's a bad thing.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not monitoring the chat today, so.
Oh.
All
I
this
don't really
talk of
care.
food though makes me want some poor man's pizza, tortilla bread, cheese, and pepperoni.
I just had some mad wings, my dude. And those were toasty.
And fortunately, wings are not something we have in for any of the available races at this point. Oh, wait, never mind. No Eshalar, no Servani, none of those. Wait, not Eshalar. What am I saying? No Servani and no Arinrax.
You want to know why? Because I ate all of their wings.
Apparently.
I took the bones out. I dipped them in some nice Korean barbecue sauce. Why do you think I have so many trophies on my necklace?
Oh, do you say so? Okay.
I was about to say, isn't there like a giant feathered bear that we could quote unquote make
Yeah.
Yes,
bear
there
wings
is.
out of?
Yeah, then you get to be Icarus.
Hey, I just on Roll20 it just said page unresponsive.
Just refresh or reload, it's fine.
Okay, it's not anything you guys are doing.
No.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm a hobo man in a home.
One thing I don't like about Twitch though is that you can't choose. At least I don't know if it's just this stream or not. You can't choose the quality of the stream. Like it's
It takes a
strictly
while
1080.
yeah, it takes a while for it to process things so that you can do that. And he's not streamed very much on this channel ever.
Well,
Yeah.
that and I'm only doing it 1920 by 1080 at 30 FPS.
Yeah, I don't know
Also
if
to do
that's
with-
even bugging my internet at all. It's just
If
has
you're
to
using
do
an
with,
older version of Firefox, it sometimes.
Yeah, there's also no need to actually have the stream open on that side. So.
Yeah, no need.
Additionally,
It just helps
it
the viewer count.
depends on whether or not you're an affiliate or a partner, because they get those settings much faster
Yeah.
on their end.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
true.
wonderfully nobody, so, you know.
It's not that hard to get affiliate. I managed it.
No, okay. Well, I wouldn't know.
Uh,
I've been on Twitch for a very short period of time and haven't streamed much, so.
It used to be a lot harder. When I was trying to run a group channel, we had hit the viewer cap finally to be able to apply for it. And then I went sort of on vacation from maintaining it for a month, and it was so much work that I was doing that I was expecting the guy who's actually paying the bills to do for that month, that he canceled it and shut everything down.
I was a part of that group.
Yes, you were.
So
Hey, we about ready, you figure? Or we want to see if we can wait a couple more minutes?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm just making food, and I don't need to be there to roll anything right now, so you can start.
Second to clear my head here. There's a
It's
little
up to you
bug
which
there.
one of my on-planet characters can be there, the Dujari or the Silshi.
Doesn't really matter to me. I mean, this is the thing is we have it set up so people can technically have multiple characters, some as standbys, so. If you want to be there with a standby just because you want to be a pain in the neck and annoy the main character, you know, sorry, the book character.
The reason I want to be there is because certain information has to be passed on to that one character, and I want it does.
Yeah, you're not playing a goddamn Dujari because that's yeah, you know about
Okay,
that, but
then.
yeah,
Yeah, the Silshi will be there then.
okay. No Dujari this time because you're not getting the extra point because you know the thing with that.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna exploit that.
Oh, did we get any new Dujari today?
I don't believe so. Check the character reference page. I'm sitting down though, so I can check.
Not sure if you updated that.
I did. No, we got a heretic, a Silshi, a heretic. Icefire was Dujari, so he's the newest Dujari.
Okay, make sure he's on the handout list then.
Okay.
Because they have their specialty junk.
Yes, they do. He was not, so I'll add him. I believe that's Vline. There we go.
So, you were saying there was some skills that were just natural to.
Yes,
under the stats page, you will find that listed under the stats.
Yep, racial abilities.
Yep. Things like gauge, opponent, etc.
I like all those. Those are really good.
Okay, let's get this show on the road, I guess. It's now 6:15. Years ago, a meteorite made of a strange black mineral slammed into the planet, toppling a strange and ancient structure, a sacred site to the E2. Strange emblematic figure that had strange runic writing written on the tail fins, which was later revealed to be the number 12, which is thus how they got their name, the E2. Unknown to the fairly primitive tribes, it was the partial remains of an Ark ship which crashed, landed on the moon on which they reside. The E2 worship the gas giant which they are orbiting. The Great Storm is seen as the Eye of Galad, their god. A second segment of the Ark ship, I should say, is located to the north through a mountain pass, in the home of the Heretic tribe, which worships a massive plant at the heart of their moon. The Heretics give their dead to the Gaian, their name for the plant, which reanimates their bodies, that they may tend the gardens for eternity. This intelligent plant produces the atmosphere which they breathe, but it is slowly tearing the planet apart. Whether it's the parasitic world-destroying plant lives or dies, all the inhabitants of Silshan are doomed. It's just a matter of time. After the meteor impact, several alien factions had arrived to collect this extremely rare and valuable mineral. Upon exposure to the glistening black stone, the inhabitants exhibited strange mystical abilities. Even with these new strange powers, the E2 were unable to repel the alien incursion. In times, the Heretic tribe joined with the many tribes of the E2, bringing their allies, the reptilian Silshi, along with them. With the help of a scout from the Kalani Dominion, Syntholo, a pirate captain named Baron Doloric was convinced to intervene. Syntholo and Doloric left to seek help from Kalani, after handing control of the planet to a faction called the Midnight Fellowship. The Fellowship didn't remain in control for long, being forced to retreat after the arrival of a fleet from the Information Society. In exchange for assisting with removal of the mineral, the IS provided the tribes with an Ark ship allowing them to evacuate 1/3 of their population from the doomed world. A second ship was launched, which had been repaired by the E2, which had been given the gift of cyberpathy from exposure to the strange mineral. Unfortunately, no cyberpaths remain in this day and time. These two ships took divergent courses. The Ark continued safely to the Season 2 location. The repaired ship led a small Black Church interceptor fleet away from the colony ship to allow them to safely arrive at their new home. After being ignored for decades, their little world has been noticed yet again. A vessel from the stars has arrived and landed on a precipice bordering the lands of the E2, Heretics, and Silshi. Is this the vanguard of a new invasion, or just an omen of a darker tomorrow? Perhaps something else entirely. And this is where our game starts. All across the land, seeing it as it's essentially half of a moon, the second half having been destroyed by the plant, pretty much everyone on the surface can see this ship coming into land. It's early morning when it actually starts arriving. So, as the sun is slowly rising, bathing the land with its warm glow, this streak of light comes through the atmosphere, and the ship lands on the highest precipice, the place where the other tribes have always met, just at the top of an area that's known as the location where the council meets. Now, they call it the Crossroads Council, and this is because there's 4 primary tribes, so there's 4 people to have the discussion. At this juncture, I'm assuming all your characters, seeing as you have chose to play the game, are going to head to try and figure out what the hell's going on up there. One by one, you pass by the leaders of your tribes as they are sitting there arguing. The Crossroad Council has met to try to discuss what to do next. Who should investigate? Who should greet these visitors? What should they do? The Dujari opinion is that they want to spy on them and get more information. The Silshi have been urging for a preemptive attack. The Heretic tribe wants to arrange a meeting, and the E2 want to send a greeting party. Okay. Now, those of you who have already assembled, you are passing by the crossroads where this argument is happening. You can continue up to the mountain, or you can try and enter into the discussion if you'd like.
Okay. I enter into the discussion.
Okay. Your character is which species?
E2.
Ah. Okay, the E2 thinks that they should send a greeting party. They should go and pick some berries and make sure that they have baskets ready, and they want to go up to the top of that mountain where the aliens or whoever these visitors are have landed, and they want to make sure to give them all these gifts and then ask them for stuff. Because E2 are big on asking aliens for stuff. It's a weird thing. So are you going to disagree with your leader or just stand by?
Are we gonna be unarmed?
Well, if we're going to send a greeting party, of course we're going to be unarmed. Why would we bring arms? If we bring weapons, they might get the wrong idea, says the E2 leader.
My arms are my weapons.
Oh, well.
You have the right idea, says the Silshi leader.
We should wait for them to get out of their ship and find the strongest one and approach them directly, ready to fight.
So you're saying that you think we should have a party up there prepared for combat?
This is my Silshi. Yeah.
That was a heretic leader, incidentally.
Yes, of course.
It wouldn't be a party without some good fights.
You know the stories. You know what this means. We are going to have to fight.
Well, it was a negotiation that actually settled things last time, wasn't it? Says the heretic leader.
Only eventually it started off with everyone being forced to do work and basically beaten and used as bait for a monster. You know the legends.
But we don't even know who these people are or who they're with. They could be friendly. We don't know. Do we want to risk starting another problem like last time?
But the problem is we don't know.
Do we want to risk not being ready for that? We need to bring our weapons with us, even if it starts with talks. We need to be ready to fight at the drop of a pin.
We should just watch them for a while and see if we can discern their intent, says the Dujari leader.
So you recommend sending spies?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I can go.
You do all the watching you want. I'll be on the front lines, and I'm going to start walking towards the landing place.
Do as you will, says the Silshi. We are going to be prepared for combat for when they come down the mountain. If they are foe, we will kill them.
Yes, we will.
Okay, let's see.
I follow Nodvik.
Okay.
I follow Nodvik as well.
The elders continue arguing meaninglessly, and you pretty much have the idea that this is going to go on for hours, and they have no clue what the hell they're doing. They're so focused on themselves and their own tribes that they're not thinking about what this could potentially mean for the planet or the people.
Okay, so I have a small question. The location of the crash, was it like near some woods or something like that?
Actually, you have to go up a very tall mountain through a wooded glade. This is one of the highest points within the area. Feel free to move yourselves onto the map.
Great. My character is sort of a nomad, so I wouldn't have gone into the town at all. I'd be like out, like, I kind of wanted it to start with me because I probably wouldn't have gone and check it out, but I would have my house or like area that I lived kind of be where it landed. I was out like hunting and came back and saw this fucking thing coming down.
The amount of distance that you traverse to get to it, that's entirely a judgment call and irrelevant to the central plot line.
Got it. All right. Get my character ready.
Let's see now. Okay.
What's the shit?
Yep. Now there are two individuals that are sitting there talking. Strangely enough, they both have tails. One of them is a fox-headed individual with 3 tails, and the other one is a woman also with 3 tails, but hers are more like monkey tails as opposed to his fox tails. There is also what you recognize as being a body that they are just moving off of gurney. It's a floating table that they basically have the body on, and they have just leaned her against a rock near a mossy outcropping.
Enhanced
Can I
sight.
read? Oh, sorry.
Say with enhanced sight, what does the body look like?
It's an E2 or a heretic, one or the other. Hard to tell them apart.
I read the surface thoughts.
Okay. When you attempt to okay, first, which one are you going to start with?
I'm gonna start with the woman.
Okay, you feel your ability bumping up against a mental barrier.
I'm like, oh shit, right? And I
Yeah,
hide.
she has a mental shield up.
Try reading the thoughts of the body.
There aren't any. It's a corpse.
Corpse.
Damn.
I hide behind Nodvik. I try to read the thoughts of the other person, or is that too late?
Oh, no, you can try that as well. And actually, I should have you roll for success, but it doesn't necessarily matter on this point. There are plenty of other people that could try afterwards. When you try to read his mind, it's almost like his brain is slippery, like your thoughts are just, like your attempts to read his mind are just slipping right past him.
While she's doing all that, since I don't know she's doing, it's going to turn dead E2. I knew they were there I knew they were here to try to kill us.
Yeah, but if they were trying to kill us, why would they put the body on a gurney? Like, if they're hostile, why would they put it on a gurney?
If they just killed her, they're studying our weaknesses. They're looking over the body to find weak points.
Not our weaknesses, friend. We don't have any.
Small vines and tendrils start coming up from the moss around the woman that's been laid against the rock, and slowly start affixing themselves to her head. And the moss spreads for a moment, and then the corpse stands and starts walking down the side of the mountain. This actually is in line with heretic traditions. They are giving her to the Gaian.
The Gaian has her, at least she's free from them. I'm going to shout, what is your intention here?
They're talking amongst themselves in a language you can't quite understand. Actually, you can't even understand remotely, quite honestly. And they pause after a moment, and after hearing you yell, the fox-like one places his hand on the shoulders of the other one, who reaches up and does something by her ear. You can't tell what she's doing, but she looks like she's adjusting something or turning something or what have you.
Okay. I will wield my club and hold it out in front of me.
I will wield my arms and hold them out in front of me.
She grins down at the group of you, shakes her head a little bit, and just seems to be amused. Mildly. Yes, a little bit of a smirk.
I smile back.
Why are you here?
Sorry, I catch up with the other 3 players.
Okay.
Go on.
Nex has managed to wander up. The fox-like one identifies himself. He says that his name is Syntholo, and he says he's done his best to try to keep tabs on the E2 colonies. When he had to leave years and years ago, he tried to make arrangements for Kalani and the Zaman forces to quarantine the area around your planet to try to keep you safe.
Syntholo. I look at my club, I look at him. You brought these.
I brought what? The means by which to manufacture weapons?
This metal, you gave us this.
Well, that's actually from the ships that crashed, I do believe. I did not bring it myself. I see that your people have been resourceful, though.
I come a little closer and I ask, you haven't answered what your intentions are for here.
I'll interrupt. If the stories are to be to believed, we can trust that one. I don't know who his friend is.
Do you have any more metal?
You're not an E2.
He laughs and he says, "Are you an E2 or you're still here, aren't you?"
Yes.
I remember your people, he says with a broad grin. I came. In fact, I did not come here for you. I came here to try and teach Lady Darksea, Miss Kiva, a lesson.
I take a closer look at the corpse, or whatever it is.
It's a heretic woman that's been returned to the Gaian. It is now being reanimated by the plant and slowly walking its way down the side of the mountain to go and Kokot tend the Garden Eternal.
What kind of lesson do you want to teach her?
If you'll wait a moment, please. He turns and starts speaking to her in an alien tongue briefly. She sits there, stamps her feet. Her tails seem to be just moving of their own accord. Her black tail comes up slightly and the stinger protrudes for a moment as her other tails uncoil from around her legs and thump the ground around her irritably.
I wish my tail could do that.
Syntholo then says, "So what do you choose?" And he says this in a language you can understand. She smiles, grins broadly, and says, "The path of fire and blood."
Now that is an idea I can get behind.
He looks absolutely shocked. And once again starts arguing with her in an alien tongue, and she just kind of waves dismissively towards him. And she says, "So what do you intend on doing with these people? Because I have my own plans in mind." Syntholo says, "Well, the problem that we have is that after the war began, their world's no longer protected. Something needs to be done, but Kalani can't help us right now. Kalani can't help them. Nobody can help them. Incidentally, anyone that has truth detection active, he's being evasive. What he said is not accurate. You have the impression that, well, he said nobody can help, it's more that nobody's willing." We kind of have a conundrum, he says. Black Church knows where they are, but the war's kept them occupied. The Eshalar, they're officially neutral, but that's another matter entirely, I suppose.
Black.
Yeah.
Politics.
Yeah, says Miss Kiva. The Eshalar. I still have a bone to pick with them.
Why would anybody be interested with this moon anyway?
She turns and looks at you and says, "The Eshalar would certainly be interested." And Syntholo looks down slightly and says, "Not in a good way." "Shall I explain it to them, or shall you?" she says with a little bit of a grin. Syntholo says, if you don't mind. He explains to you that the Eshalar are, well, officially neutral. They would have an interest with any race that they can take control of and subjugate.
I don't like the sound of that.
There was a recent plague outbreak on one of the Eshalar's planet, and it's resulted in a worker shortage. And he puts a strange emphasis on the word worker. The illness has since run its course, but it's believed that they may attempt to capture the 12th tribe's survivors, those that remain on the planet, those that were left behind, to compensate for this loss. Now,
That doesn't sound good.
Syntholo kind of looks downward and frowns a little bit and says that he discovered this moon by mistake, not design. And this was, well, trying to bring that Mystrium rock to the Midnight Fellowship. And he feels partially responsible for your plight. He tried to arrange the relocation of your planet with his government, but with the war breaking out when it did, that just wasn't possible, and it still isn't possible at this time. Although he's sure the Kalani Dominion would be more than happy to welcome your people if there was time. But there isn't. None of the benevolent factions can help them at this time. And once again, that deception. It's not that they can't. You have this sense that it's more that they're not willing to.
Then what can we do?
Kiva smiles and she says, "Well, they might not have the ability to help, but I do. But
Then what can you do?
I can prefer to not be interrupted when I'm speaking," she says with a grin. Little sinister edge to her glance when she says that. You see, I lack the resources required to evacuate the planet completely and to find a new home for your species. That's just not possible. I mean, you have to send out surveyors, you have to find a world, and there's only so many habitable worlds that are even available out there. So I'd have to have something terraformed most likely, and that would take far more time than your tiny little moon has. Your moon will be shredded long before that process is completed. So it leaves you in a little bit of a rough spot, doesn't it? Because the Gaian's going to tear your planet apart. You have, what, maybe 1,000 years left, tops? And terraforming can take, a long time. It's not a quick process. We have to make a planet habitable. That takes a long time. But what I can do is I can provide you with equipment and training to ensure you're given the opportunity to inherit at least one new planet. Maybe even one for each species on this planet. If you play your cards right. Syntholo looks at her with alarm. Kiva continues. When your ancestors left Earth, their ship was the 12th evacuation ship launched. Now, there were, of course, other ships. There was another colony ship, which was launched, the 5th ship. Was launched from a land once known as India, and their ship was intercepted by a race known as the Eschalar. Now, the Eschalar are a 6-armed species that just happen to look similar to the gods that they used to worship back in the days of Earth. So they took advantage of this and brought them in and made, slaves out of them for all intents and purposes. Syntholo says something to protest. And she looks at him and says, "It doesn't matter whether they're using religion or not. They're still slaves, whether they're willing or not. Their nation's been enslaved. Accept it." Syntholo scowls.
I'm not a big fan of being a slave.
Well, how do you feel about other people being a slave? That's the real question.
I mean, everybody needs slaves. Let's be honest.
What?
I hit him.
Yeah. She smirks. I find it offensive, especially because they are descendants of my people. The Eschalar, that is. They were created, ultimately, by my predecessors.
Oh, and I hurt him a lot when I hit him for saying that.
No, you didn't. There's no damage.
Okay.
Kiss my ass. But she says that she is willing to help your people if you agree to help liberate the descendants from the 5th colony arc. The 5th arc ship, the Samsara.
Will there be many people to fight?
Oh, all that you want, she says with a grin. Now, there are things that you may want to know about the Eschalar culture. Those are the keepers of the Samsara. Those are their masters, the 6-armed humanoids. They are very big on, we'll just call it arena combat. It's one of the primary sources of revenue for their people is they broadcast. She pauses. They transmit so other people can watch these massive arena combats, which are typically death matches, but it's usually monsters versus people, and they will sometimes use a Samsara for this and sometimes others. And they broadcast these as a grisly form of entertainment throughout all of Corrales. She pauses and says, "The universe we live in."
I am so into that.
That just sounds like our rite of passage. Why is that entertaining? It's just something everybody does.
Oh, you'll understand. The roaring crowds and all this. It's a big spectacle they put on. But it's wrong. And they're using slaves. And the ones that fight in the pits aren't the only slaves they have.
I
But
like,
that
I look at her and I'm like, I understand. It sounds horrible.
Sounds fun to me.
It is horrible. You'll see. Worse yet, the Eschalar are focused almost completely on aesthetics. So if someone is injured over the course of the match in such a way that it leaves a scar, they're put to death even if they win.
That way. The victorious are killed?
If the victor is injured in such a way that it makes them no longer attractive, we'll just say, or aesthetically pleasing to the Eshalar, they will have them put to death even though they have won.
But
That's
stars only
sacrilege.
make you more attractive.
That's sacrilege. The victorious wins their life. That is the rite of passage. Why would they dishonor it?
Battle scars only make you cooler.
Because they are a vain and cruel race that cares more about appearance than anything else.
I don't like these people. I don't like
show
these
them
people,
what-
blood brother.
I will show them what appearance is.
Haha, I'm with you.
Well, the situation as it stands, despite being on the decline from millennia and having a low birth rate, the Eshalar have vast political and financial power. The majority of the factions out there that might have been willing to help are willing to hold them accountable for their transgressions. And they're within,
No financial.
since although cops to interrupt her for a moment, and they're within Black Church space and are considered a Black Church protectorate, so that might, if y'all remember what they did when they came here, you guys may have a little bit of a grudge there.
They were the ones that fed us to the beast.
Yep.
The beast. Oh no.
But because of this, they've been able to act with autonomy, says Kiva. Now, here's the thing. Buying you a planet, as I said, really isn't an option. Like I said, not that many inhabitable planets. It would take too long to terraform. I don't know that your people have that long before your planet gets torn apart. Literally, by this plant. By the thing you call the since Olo says Gaian. Sorry, yeah, that.
Obscure knowledge roll on local tribal beliefs related to Gaian.
Okay, you are familiar with the Gaian beliefs. When somebody dies, they are returned to the Gaian, so to speak, and the person will go down to tend the gardens to keep the plant alive. Now, if the plant dies, as was explained earlier, and they will be more than happy to reiterate that if needed, if the Gaian dies, the atmosphere will go away. It's what's providing you with the atmosphere. So if you kill the Gaian, then everyone dies. If you let it live, everyone dies.
Out of character, if the two heretics that we have here would be rather offended by her saying that it's going to destroy us.
Oh, not necessarily.
Why would God destroy us?
God can do whatever he wants.
So you're offering for a way of fixing our problem with the plants if we help you free.
Well, let me interrupt you there, she says. The only way to ensure the survival of all of your people, all of the species that live here, is through inheriting another planet, which would require removing the current owners and taking the planet for yourself.
I like the sound of that.
None of this affects the Silshi. People die, people live, but they dishonor the rite of passage. Life is one. The victorious deserve to live. We will do what we must do.
We will be victorious.
Incidentally, as she's talking, her tails continue to move as if of their own will. Syntholo says something in the alien tongue, kind of snapping at her, and her black tail whips around and pauses with her stinger pointed right towards his nose. Hang on 1 second. Here we go. He says a single word. You can't understand what it is. And she turns to him and looks to you. Says, so, what do you think?
I will teach those a lesson that dishonor the rite of passage. None of the other stuff matters.
Syntholo turns to actually speak to the group of you and says, do you understand what genocide is?
No.
Kill all the things?
Yes.
The Eshalar will not simply give you a world. They will not give way. They have an iron-fisted control over their people. The people that they have under their dominion. The people that they have under their influence. Worship them. They believe that they are gods. Do you understand that you would have to go there and kill all of the Eshalar?
Do you understand that disrespecting the rite of passage is worthy of death?
I want to kill a lot of stuff.
Institute a coup. Or something.
Yeah.
Kirill looks alarmed at everyone.
I'm down with killing an entire planet. I just want to do it fast and now.
Miss Kiva chimes up. She says, "Okay, let me put it this way," and she actually seems to be addressing him more than you. 30,000 years of slavery for one of the tribes that escaped Earth's destruction. Additionally, several lesser races, which have also been enslaved or annihilated over the course of the years. And then there's the cruelty of the fighting pits themselves. If any species deserves an extinction level event, it's the Eschalar. Second only to the Lamentix, of course.
Of course.
We live and die by our actions. I'm ready to help you. I don't care what this fox says.
I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for my own glory, but I'll do it.
They don't even know they're slaves, Scintilla grumbles. And then the two of them start arguing amongst themselves.
Kirill gets the feeling that they are kind of wrapped up with themselves.
I shall gather the Silshi. We will fight. We will take down those who disrespect the rights. And I walk off towards back where everyone's gathering.
I guess I'm in. Better than going extinct, I suppose.
That makes sense.
Kiva smiles slyly.
One last thing. You did say you would train and arm us. So, what kind of arms we talking?
With their allies embroiled in war, this is her speaking. This is a unique moment in history. The Eschalar are vulnerable. All I ask is that your people take advantage of the situation, work to topple their empire and claim their worlds, or at least one of their worlds, for your own people. For the people of Earth, for all of you here, as well as the Samsaran. I'll provide you with whatever support I can, but I must for now act in secret. Oh, that reminds me, she says with a smile. Who of you are Dajari?
Me.
Anyone else?
No, nay, I am Itu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that there are some shapeshifters here, and that kind of fascinates me. I have a couple questions if you don't mind indulging me. I'm very interested in this shape-shifting ability. Can you look like specific people? Could you make yourself look like me if you wanted?
I'm not sure. I guess I haven't taken the time to try and it yet.
She looks at you strangely and says, "So you don't know much about your own people and their capabilities?" Out of game, the GM says, "So you haven't read the fucking handout?"
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Forgot about
Can't
that.
make
Yes,
tail.
I suppose I can look like another race, but it only goes so far. I can't emulate your abilities if I don't have them.
She says, "Can you grow a tail if you wanted, even?"
That shouldn't be a problem.
Read the handout. No, you can't. Okay. She then She then asks other questions, which you, are mentioned in there. Whether or not you can scale certain body parts and be that selective, which you can't. Also, as if you look like other species and whatnot, but no tails, and it's only species you're familiar with. Anyway. Okay, that goes away. We don't get that build point awarded because nobody read the handout. Okay.
Hey, I was at Itu.
That's okay.
And Navius is busy being sneaky, so he didn't get to speak up and try.
I'm not one of those.
You know? Oh, okay.
Okay,
I'm a
let's see.
heretic. I'm a heretic, so I wouldn't know.
There we go. No, that was a bonus point I wasn't expecting to actually give anyone anyway. It's my way of basically encouraging people in the future to read their damn handouts. That's me being a jerk. Okay, now if you agree, I'll send a small task force to train and advise you and provide whatever supplies I can. It'll of course be limited at first, but I will do what I can to help. Now, it's going to have to be in stages, and once again, I'm going to have to be doing this secretly so that none of the other forces that are out there know what's going on. Because the faction that I'm involved with, some of our current alliances are tenuous because we are the smaller group within this war, and we need to keep a lot of our workings under wraps. And this would get far too many allied against us if we were to tip our hand and let them know that we were trying to topple the Eschalar regime. Now, we'll be leaving to visit the Kalani Empire. She pauses and turns to Syntholo. Around sunset, 7 hours from now. She nods and says, report back to me once this time has elapsed, and once your people have decided what your decision is, whether you want to help or not.
Where will we meet you? Here?
Yes, go consult your people.
All right.
I should be getting close to the crossroads.
Okay, the idiots of the crossroads are still arguing.
Yeah, I'll let other people decide what they're doing.
As they leave, I'd like to fall and step kind of behind them and be like, hey, I would like to join you on your quest to kill these people.
Okay, the elders, of course, are still arguing. They're about completely pointless. None of them are willing to budge in their viewpoints of things.
Okay. I will get...
You gotta at least tell them who the hell's up there?
Yeah, I'm going to get the Silshi leaders.
You're breaking up.
Let me click on Discord so it stops that.
Yeah.
Okay, I should be good now.
Okay.
I'm going to get the Silshi leader's attention if he's too busy wrapped up in the conversation by slapping him in the face.
When you raise your hand, he turns to you and says, "What do you want, child?"
The people that come, they come not to attack us, but they inform us of those who disrespect the rights. We must act.
Who are they, and what do they want of us?
One of them is a man of the legends. He's the one that brings the forge that makes our weapons. The other one I don't know much about, but she brought us the information.
And what do they want from us?
There is a people that disrespect the rights. They kill those who win in combat.
This is not acceptable, but why would this be our business?
They disrespect the rights.
Do you remember the loss? Do you remember the losses we had last time their people came from the stars?
We live and die by our actions. Losses are not something that Silshi should worry about. How do you take any pride in yourself?
I am the leader. I must be concerned of these things.
Maybe you're not worthy of that role.
Ooh.
He spreads one clawed hand as if he's ready to fight, but then reconsiders because you're still a youngling.
I slowly keep myself in the back, far away from.
If you are not willing to defend our culture, then I am. I will fight others, and I'll walk away from their little argument towards the gatherings.
I tell the leader that I've got Nodvik's back, and scurry off after him.
I'm gonna go talk to the heretic leader.
Oh, the heretic leader's like, okay, yeah, rock on. This is fine. If we know that it's Syntholo, we know that we should be able to trust him. Then he pauses for a moment and says, as long as he's not planning on leaving us in the lurch like he did last time.
I go to the E2 leader and I tell him about what happened.
Okay, the E2 leader says, so we're going to get stuff, right?
Yes, but that's not the only thing that matters.
Yes, it is. We're going to get stuff. We got more stuff. That's great.
Stuff doesn't matter if the planet's going to destroy itself under our feet.
Does a new planet count as stuff?
Yeah. A new planet's stuff. That's definitely stuff. There'll be stuff on the planet, right?
Yes, there'll be stuff on the planet. If we go to the planet and take their stuff, there'll be more stuff.
Yeah, incidentally, the E2's leader's name is Faithless.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I asked the Ujari leader how they feel about everything.
And after the situation is explained to him, he basically insists that if the others go, they must go as well, because the Dujari society is dependent on the others. The others do the building, and the Dujari live within that which is built. This is how it has always been. Yet if they're going to this strange new world, they will need those that can work from the shadows, and that would be the Dujari. They will need us whether they know it or not.
Cool. Very cool.
Alright, I guess I back Nodvik then.
The heretic leader is simply disappointed that they weren't there for the initial meeting.
I could go up a hill.
So you can either continue bothering these folks. You apparently have the backing of the E2, who just have that weird greed thing going on there, as well as the Dujari, to a degree, but they want the others to agree, which is clearly not going to happen at this meeting. This is the point at which it might be worth trying to sway public opinion and go back to your settlements.
Yep, I'm gonna start with my own clutch and the people I know, and then start and have them spread the word that there are people disrespecting the rights.
Mm-hmm.
I decide to go with Nodvik, thinking my abilities might be helpful in swaying opinion.
Out of character, you should probably talk to E2 people.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
But they're already coming.
Yeah,
this would be the point at which people are breaking up a little bit to go to talk to their respective people.
Oh, okay. I go to talk to my E2 people now.
Oh, everyone's all super fucking excited about that shit. Yay, there'll be stuff! Ugh. Yeah.
I'll let the heretic leader know that the guys are still up there if they want to go talk to him.
Okay. He will head up. He will sit there and ask you to stand in his stead and represent his people in the argument as he goes and talks to the new arrivals.
Thank God.
And then he puts his hand on your shoulder. He rests his hand on your shoulder and he says, or in other words, just stand here and say nothing. You're better off.
Oh, sweet. So I sit down in the chair and say nothing. I play my harp a little bit.
Just pretend to be listening, basically, is what he tells you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh shit, I forgot to add that. No.
I added it for you. You good?
Oh, you did.
Okay,
It's in your equipment.
And has the Dujari headed off to talk to his folks?
Kevin?
Damn it. Sorry. I was papers again. Yeah.
Okay. The only tribe that didn't speak up, I had to ping you on that one. Okay,
I'm trying to think. I guess I also try to sway popular support, but I guess it's not going to make much.
It's not as needed. No.
Else doesn't.
No, it's not as needed.
Yeah. As a Dujari, you can pretty much just go with the others and try to convince more groups if you want to.
Well, courtesy of the reputation, so to speak, and the legends surrounding Synthala, which have been very much upplayed from the actual true events, due to that legacy, there are many people that are willing to actually sign on for this. Let's see now. Find where I left off here. Here we go. This is why I use different colored markers. There we go. Dujari. I should have marked it properly. Sorry about that. I had to look up to the top for a moment there.
I'm out of character, obviously. I'm kind of surprised that the Silshi leader didn't say I was getting a bit long in the tail or something along those lines.
There we go. Nope, not green. We need to go to purple on that one. There we go. Or not, because it's not accepting it. Bugger. Okay, there we go. We'll just leave the blank line in there. Okay. After this is all said and done, a number of people, yourselves included, all go to head up to the precipice to meet the visitors. And she turns to the group of you and says, so, how do you feel about this? Now, in reality, courtesy of the intervention of your leaders, there's still a lot of hesitance because it requires leaving your world, and that's a big deal, and you all have your local gods and this kind of stuff, so that's a concern. The Silshi are pretty keen on going. They're good with this because, you know, there was battle that was promised. They're good with that.
Yeah, we live and die by our own actions.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if we go extinct.
Yeah. So they're pretty much fine with that. The heretics are more or less good with it, but they have to worry about the garden, and the same holds true of the E2. So they have decided to send some of your people to these planets once the opportunity arises. To just go with it, basically. Not a problem. But it's a matter of choice who stays and who goes. They're not going to decide this is a planetary kind of thing. It's not going to be all the people. Those that are willing to go are willing to go. And those that are willing to go back and talk to her will do so. But the leaders themselves do not want to be directly involved with them at this time because they're not sure they can trust this strange woman that has arrived at Syntholo. He could somehow be under her sway. Especially with her strange questions to the Dujari about rescaling body parts. It's made them a little weary, because why? Okay, so in any case, now to toss you back to the map. There you go, yoink. Okay, as the sun starts to set, you folks return to the landing pad, the landing site. And Syntholo at this point has decided that he's going to go back on the ship and wait. He doesn't want to necessarily be a direct part of this. However, Miss Kiva, as he calls her, is waiting for you to arrive.
We are ready. We are ready. We are ready.
The Silshi will defend their culture, except for one worthless leader.
Well, although I've not had the, we'll say, forces or the manpower involved, I haven't had the man. Let me refresh, because is my audio cutting out? It looks like it is.
A little bit.
Tiny bit, not much.
Let me just let me bounce right quick on the internal here. Hopefully that'll make a difference. And you can't tell from 5 words anyway, but we will see. Okay, let's see now. She informs you that she does already have an agent on there that's trying to get things underway for when she has the manpower needed to actually see about starting a proper incursion on their planets. This contact, his name is Grax, and you'll know him when you see him. He looks like he's made of rock, with a little crystal jutting out of the back of his head. The crystal looks a little melted, and she looks a little embarrassed when she says that.
Rock is good and sturdy. I already like him.
But yeah, Grax is my contact on there, and he will be able to help you further at some point once you get there. But I'm going to have to contact him and make arrangements. I'm also going to have to make some additional arrangements with some folks. I've already told Syntholo that I want him to send a message to Tyrell and Jake and see if they can have some gear ordered for you that will be sent in a special delivery, and once that's there, then we can hopefully send some people to provide further assistance. But initially, all I'm going to be able to do is send basically some supplies for you, which should be invaluable to this particular assignment if you choose to accept it, which it seems you have.
I accept.
The Silshi are ready.
As she's talking, you hear a faint clinging sound as she sticks her hand in her pocket. She then pauses, tilts her head to her side, pulls out what's in her pocket, looks down, looks almost confused for a moment, and says, "Haha, here we go. Well, what I'll do is I will provide you with these tokens, and these tokens will enable you to actually make sure that when you meet my contact that you're actually talking to the right person. They'll have one as well, and when you put these tokens together with each other, you'll notice that the side of them will glow."
I see. What color?
Hang on, and let me get this up here. 1 second. Edit. And player journals, all players. There we go. Da-da-da, that's a weird little token.
I put it in my fanny pack.
So this is how you will know people that are part of the movement. She's actually given you a fistful of the darn things, plenty enough for you, the group here, as well as some extras for the main group.
I hold on to all the extras.
Those she pauses and says the extras should be distributed amongst the leadership of the tribe so that they can hand them out as needed.
I whisper under my breath, "Damn it."
Object read it.
Oh, object reading. Yeah, that's a thing. This coin has been used tens of thousands of times. Now, you don't know what kind of arcade it could be referencing, but you have the impression that these things have something to do with an arcade? And there's also writing on the back that you're unable to read at this time.
I feel like This is we're getting a bit used, but seeing as we have no choice, matter considering the plants are destroying the planet. I agree.
Of course, you have a choice. You always have a choice. You can fight for what's right or die in shame. You have a choice.
Lady Kiva looks at you as if she's heard your concerns, as if she's actually heard your thoughts. Smiles and says, well, you do have a choice. You can stay here and wait for your planet to be doomed.
I put one of the tokens in my mouth and try to bend it.
It doesn't bend.
Damn it.
What is wrong with this guy?
He's weird. She looks at you. She looks at you with compassion in her eyes, and she says, "The simple fact of the matter is, your people are doomed. But there are other Terran subterrans. There are other descendants of Earth, much like you are, that are out there in the universe that are being enslaved by others, that are being treated cruelly and unjustly. And right now, there's a time that they can be helped. Helping them helps you."
Yeah, I nod. I see her reasoning.
But as to whether or not you're being used, absolutely, I will not deny it. But the question is, are you being used for a greater good?
If we both get what we want, doesn't hurt me a bit.
Yay, capitalism.
Well, that was part of the lesson Synthola was trying to teach me, in terms of this whole idea of what you want. Because what they want is for their gods to be gods, and for their gods to be just. They don't realize that neither of these things are true. The gods are not just, and they're not gods. And she scowls slightly while saying that. Now, there is an advantage of the people on this planet. There is something unique about you that you will not find elsewhere in the universe. And this is truly what I'm hoping to exploit, if you don't mind. Because there are certain parts of training with you that I do not need to worry about. The members of the Psionic Research Institute, the members of Black Church, all those, including even the Great Temple of Aspis, all the people that are trained in these abilities that you manifested after coming in contact with that lovely little rock that landed here ages ago, all of them have been brainwashed for these dogmas, which limit their abilities. They are able to do less than you can because they have been told that they can't, and they've been made to believe it. When you find somebody that knows how to use Mystrionics, for example, they believe that they must chant and use all these words of power in a certain order and a certain tone. This is all a lie. They've been made to believe this. It's never been true. And the same holds true for some psionic abilities. Most of them are limited, not by the way things are, but by the way they've been told they are. And you are not bound by those restrictions.
Can I use my racial ability sense power on her?
Okay, hang on a second. Let's see now. Character name. Which character is your character name? Look at me 1 second.
Navius.
Steely Destiny sheet.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I'm going to share with you the character sheets for a moment so you can take a quick glance at it. And let's see now. He's still in here? Inside
He might have been named Navius at this point.
Navius. Let me see if I can find one on the list here.
Silshim. Steely Destiny, right there at the top.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking. No, I'm looking on her character sheet. I need to add the players temporarily for the journal thing.
Oh, Navius. Oh, no, he's Phil now. He changed it again.
Sorry.
Okay, so what the hell am I looking for now?
He's
Phil, got it. Okay, here we go.
Phil in roll 20.
Okay, and Phil. Here we go. I have to enable both temporarily. Don't try to change anything. Here we go. And save changes, and take a quick glance at her character sheet, and then I'm going to pull your access to it. Got that up okay?
Yep.
Okay.
So have a look around.
Right?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Sense Power does give you the ability to read what knacks she has too, so you can click on that.
Yep. There we go.
What's IR?
Instant reaction.
Oh, okay. Good God. I run.
There we go. Close out of that.
Cool.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, that.
Yeah. I was gonna flank, but no, might as well not.
Good idea, sensing power first. Then.
Yeah. She'd sense you wanting to flank. So yeah.
No.
No, if you decided you wanted to, instead you did sense power first and said fuck.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
characters from the
thoughts thing.
Character
my thoughts as soon as
from her, probably not. The problem is book characters get experience based upon how many chapters they appear in. So yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
Anyway, and y'all are on chapter 1. She's not. Okay, in any case. Let's see now. Okay, the token, there we go. Before she can mobilize a formal task force to prepare you all for the Echelon, she's going to get a care package delivered with some armor and some specialized training device to help get you ready for the arrival of the main task force. Her main task force, this is, of course. There's some basic knowledge you'll need before you go to deal with the Echelon, like how to speak the language, etc. Right now, she can only understand you because of a translator unit that Sincillo had loaned her, which has their native language loaded on it, which he learned his last time here.
So, do we get translating units?
No, you're going to be taught the languages. We're going to be sending a very special device, which I acquired from a facility that I destroyed, more or less. Destroyed, I guess, is the way to put it. I emptied it out. We'll just leave it at that. And yeah, I have some of their old technology, and we're going to reprogram that and repurpose it so that we can use it as a training aid for you, so we won't have to worry about wasting any time with training. She grins a little bit as she says that.
Sweet.
Yeah, you won't have to spend any time training. And out of game as a joke, I want to say, no montage for this one.
All this talk of gods and training, the Silshi are ready to go.
She does actually say that she was considering leaving the translator for one of the E2 reps for when her main team gets here, but she's decided since then to get the care package delivered first. And there's a device that it looked kind of like a helmet, I suppose, she says, that, oh, actually, just for the hell of it. There we go. Let's do this for 1 second. Yoink. She says that there is a device. It's kind of helmet-like, I guess. I don't know. It goes around the head, and just put it on your head, and it will teach you what you need to learn. It's a very special device, she says, with a quirky little grin.
I see.
That doesn't look like it'd fit around my head.
It's an elastic band.
She looks at you and says, "No, this is not it. This is." She smirks. She says, "This is my." She lowers her helmet. She has stripes going down from her cheeks as well as down from there. Those are actually stripes that somebody just put a gemstone in between where the stripes meet. But she actually does have stripes, as well as from the elbow down, her arms darken until they become black at her fingers.
Oh.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's me. That's my stripes, she says, and then puts her hood back up.
Yikes.
Yeah, she shrugs. It's me. Anyway, one thing you're going to have to be concerned about is that you are going to, because the Echelon will send their people eventually. And whenever that happens, when they do that, you're going to need to have some kind of way to impress yourselves upon them. Now, mind you, there are a few things they respect. They respect things like ability to dance, acrobatic ability, things like these. Abilities to entertain, they actually put a great deal of emphasis on. But in with entertainment, that also involves the gladiatorial combat as well. So if you can present them something, because they capture these animals. They capture all kinds of different creatures, and once they've captured them, they then bring them to participate in the arena combat. But they always need new creatures for that. So whether it's by capturing some kind of animal and having it ready for their arrival, or just going on some weird little bug hunt of theirs to try to help them either get more animals or whatever they'd ask for. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. But you will need it, whether after they arrive or before they arrive, to have something in place to try and impress yourselves upon them. Now, mind you, you're talking about a race that's almost entirely about appearances, and is incredibly vain, and probably would be shocked that you guys don't know much about them, because, yeah. Ego.
They're a big deal.
Ego. You will not find, well, you'll only find one race that's slightly more narcissistic than they are, but, yeah.
Yeesh.
So, if that's all you want, then
Sweet, when is this stuff coming?
I'll send it as soon as I can. There's a matter of transit time. I plan on seeing about, once everything's put together, having it sent to She Pauses. For anyone with Read Surface Thoughts, you picked up this particular one, the word Stargate. Whatever that means. I'm going to have it sent here as quickly as I can, but there's a little time to get everything together, and of course I have to program the training device, so it'll be sent here as soon as possible. It'll be in an unmanned ship.
Where will you have it land?
When we were coming in here, I noticed a big field of pink grass. I think I'll just have it land there.
Pink grass.
You remember the pink grass by where the old ship was? The old crash site? Yep.
Yes.
Where the blue alien crashed.
Yeah. I'll just have it land there because it's a nice big field and we won't have to worry about being exact with the targeting of where it's supposed to land. It'll be easier, so I figured that'll be the best location. That, and it can be seen by the most people coming in, right? Yeah. That sounds like a good idea to me, she says with a kind of shrug and a smirk. Well, before I head out, is there anything else I can help you with?
For someone who promises a fight, you talk about.
So I think you should probably start thinking about how you're going to see about impressing yourselves upon them. Whether people try to capture something, or I don't know. I don't even know what kind of wildlife you have here.
We have lots. We have beasts. We have critters. We have monsters.
Do you have anything truly horrifying?
Oh, that's my friend Dave.
She laughs. She actually laughs. Who was that?
You don't want
That
to
was
see him.
Jake. Okay.
Yeah, that was Jake, yeah.
Hang on.
Okay.
We have a few. We have creatures that will swallow you whole, that swim through the sand like water. We have large carnivorous bugs that will eat you while you are alive and you may not be able to defend yourself. We have many large, they look like the trees, but they move.
She giggles involuntarily, and she says, I almost feel like you're trying to make me frightened.
We have this little
I
thing that
only
looks
answer
kind of
your
like a
question.
frog, but it's got sharp teeth and it scares the shit out of me.
Sounds like a personal problem, she grins.
What kind of animals don't they have on their planet?
Okay, there are things that are in legend. There was a legendary creature that was once sealed deep below the planet's surface. For example.
How are we getting there again?
I guess
Oh.
I meant what types of animals.
Well, she's
they-
going to be sending a fleet to eventually transport you, but, you know, there is always a chance the Eshalar may show up first.
We'll
Wait,
be
they're
ready
coming
for them.
here?
Yes. They know where your planet is, and you now are no longer being protected by the major alliances since the war broke out, so It's only a matter of time. The question is when.
Do you have anything strong to drink?
I like that question. I pull out my 1 gallon tankard.
Ooh, what you got there?
Not on the ship. Certainly not.
We have plenty of stuff if that's what you're looking for. Come
Do
on.
you have anything weak to drink?
Um,
That's pretty-
Wait, you're flying through space and you have no alcohol.
We
Is that
have
what
a
you're telling me?
We have this substance that we call coffee.
I want it. Please.
Well, I can help you with that. I mean, it'll help keep you awake, I suppose.
I
All right, we're at the top of the mountain. I point towards the deserty region. There you'll find tall plants. Break them open and you'll find something much more fun.
She wanders into the ship for a moment and comes back out holding on to a large clear glass filled with a murky green fluid. Coffee, she
pour it
says?
into my. I hold out my tankard, ready to receive the liquid.
I use drug identification on that.
It's coffee. It has caffeine. It's a different kind of coffee, to say the least. It's the equivalent of coffee, though. The real coffee is way too expensive for anyone to bother with. Well, other than Varshana.
Anyway, yeah, I do tell her to that there's something much more fun in the tall plants that grow in the deserty area that they can just break open and play with.
She shrugs and says, yeah, I just need something to help keep me up sometimes.
Oh, you'll be awake after that.
So here's a question. How do you plan on impressing yourselves upon the Eshalar? Do you want to try and capture some critter to have ready for them? Or do you want to just be as you are and show them your skills in raw form?
Bring me an Eshalar and I will face it.
I say we find a monster and we beat it up, and then we show these dudes.
The GM looks at the number of people that have shown up so far and gets a little concerned.
I can find us a monster.
Bring me this Eshalar and I will impress myself upon it, as you say.
Oh, okay. So how do you guys want to play this?
In fact, you know what I'll do?
Do you want to fish up some ancient horror from the core of the fucking planet, or do you want to just go as you are?
I say we
as
flip
I'm
one
saying-
of the tokens.
As I'm saying that if she just brings me the Eshalar and I'll impress myself upon it, I'm going to walk over to that wooden cart there and just hit it with my club. So, let me do generic hit your skills. I don't think I can miss the cart, right?
No. You're hitting a barn door for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
It has absolutely no evasion.
So it's all about strength.
Just don't roll a 20.
Okay, I'll roll my 1d20 as well here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
7.
fine.
I hit it. I hit the wooden car for 19 damage, hopefully shattering it. Oh, I didn't do that right. It's supposed to be 66. I'll just roll another 3d6 to add up. Alright, so, yeah, 30. 3 structural damage.
She looks as if to say, that's cute.
I walk over there and hit it with my gauntlets.
If you're planning...
Oh, no.
Yeah, you actually swing and miss and end up falling on the ground. She laughs.
That wasn't accuracy though. That's the 5d6.
Oh, is it? Okay, roll your actual hit chance. Cool.
I start while they're doing all that. I'm gonna start playing my.
Okay, so the 20 wasn't as a hit roll?
No, that was his total damage.
Okay, then never mind, she does not laugh. Oh well.
Okay. Oh, hey, he played a pretty song.
The whole thing with the music, that they might like if you can play well enough. They may appreciate that. She tilts her head to the side and says, if they find you aesthetically pleasing enough, that is. There's the problem.
Why don't we just kill them?
Do they?
You have to get close enough to be able to kill them. That's the problem. There aren't actually that many Eshalar. The problem is finding them.
Wait,
It's not like they just walk around the streets. These beings are considered gods. Go ahead, out of character.
Which one's the Dajari?
The Dajari is the shapeshifter.
No, like which person is playing?
Me.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, I can sing too.
He'll play the harp. You do
In
some singing.
character. All right, Kevin, you can make yourself look pretty.
Actually, it's kind of just random how they look when they change forms. They turn into a random representative of a race. They can't emulate anyone in specific.
And they emulate like a specific gender. Well, I guess that might
They can do gender, they can do species, but that's pretty much it. Read the handout.
However, with a lot of practice, with like a mirror or something, you can generally look the same as you looked every other time you became a representative of that species.
Well, yeah, if you practice, yeah. Otherwise, it's completely inconsistent and it's completely random.
Okay.
I have a mirror in my utility belt.
To raise something about the mirror, doesn't this world have problems collecting both glass and metal?
Yeah, our mirrors are polished metal. We can't do glass.
No, they're not glass mirror. And hell, a mirrored surface can be a pond for all it matters. You just need to be able to see your own reflection. Any reflective surface will do.
I do have a mirror, though.
So are you going to try to capture something, or are you going to rely on your own abilities?
I want to capture something.
First thing that comes to mind is a giant worm to me.
Well, if you want to truly impress them, you're going to have to come up with something a little bit more dangerous than a worm. Something unique, something that only exists on your world.
So there's a big plant in the center.
I don't think they're going to be fucking with that.
The Kujarati itself, she says and pauses. Allow me to... wait, please allow me to illustrate, at which point she starts walking down the hill. And on your planet, there's a vast forest of mushrooms. Now, each of these mushrooms is round about the size of a sequoia tree. They're massive. She rests her hand on one of them, and you can visually see energy flowing through it. The planet starts quaking, and then she removes her hand and she looks at you and says, "Yeah, I don't think that's a good choice."
Aw.
However,
I don't have any
Like
ideas.
its hair.
she says, "However, there is something feeding on it." Huh. Interesting.
Out of character, I'm wondering if Kevin's going to remember it. Because I'm not saying it.
Feeding on it?
There's something feeding on the Kujarati, the Gaian, she says.
Ooh, where can
Yeah,
we find this?
I do remember that, but I don't remember what it is, and my character wouldn't know anyway. I don't think.
Yeah, it's in our legends. It was a really big boss fight.
Yeah.
Touch the mushroom and use animal empathy.
It's not an animal, it's a plant.
God damn it.
Get fucked.
Yeah.
Can I try object reading it just for shits and giggles?
This fungus is growing on the Kujarati, on the giant plant at the center of the planet.
So it's not part of it.
Yeah, it's basically part of the Kujarati is starting to rot in some areas where it was exposed.
Think of that as hairs growing out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I whisper?
Well, if you'd like my assistance digging something up, I could do that, or I could just head on my way. It's ultimately your choice.
Thing off the Gaian.
Oh,
Obviously, that's a good idea.
well, let's see if we can find a good spot for it, she says. You're going to try to dig the thing up. Now, hopefully it won't be too much for you to handle, but I could try.
There is nothing that is too much for me to handle.
Kevin,
Look at
I
my
said the whispering
hands.
game.
They're big.
I'm gonna suggest that trying to dig at the thing that's gonna destroy the planet might not be the best of ideas.
Well,
How's it going, Amber?
That's not the thing that's destroying the planet. That's the thing that's hurting the god of the planet.
okay.
I don't believe mushrooms can fight back very well, so I'm
Well, this isn't a mushroom. There's, from the feels of it. Now, mind you, I've been places some others haven't. And there's a certain life form that feeds on Kujarati. Only one I'm aware of, and it's a parasitic insect.
insect.
Yeah,
Insects can fight.
it's a parasitic insect.
How big is it?
They're pretty big. I don't know. That might impress them. Outside of Midgard, I haven't seen one of these on any other world, so it certainly seemed unique to them.
How would we capture it without killing it?
I can
Yeah, I believe he's referring to the Beast of Legend, the bug. That it's bigger than the ship next to us.
You'd have to beat it to the point that it's subdued. And
Oh, I can do that.
once it's beaten down to the point of being subdued, then yeah, you will have it. Then I will be able to bind it for you. I can do that easy enough. But I don't know. I might be nice and help you a little bit with it. But yeah, I'm not going to kill it for you. Certainly, you have to be able to do this on your own. Otherwise, it'd be pointless for me to help you.
If what you say is true and the brood mother still lives, this is not something that will be easily done, even by a stranger from another world.
No, I wouldn't do it for you anyway. I would just be helping a little bit. Somebody needs to be able to bind it and make sure it stays put once it comes up from the surface to the surface.
I'm strong, but I'm not stupid. I think we need to prepare a little bit before this.
The great heroes of old were not even able to kill it, they only sealed it away.
Well, let's we can do this training first, and then maybe we can try and do that.
No, that would take time. This is something that if I were to help you with it, I'd have to help you with it now. Because I'm leaving in a very short time.
Shit.
I believe we can
but-
handle it.
You're right, it might not be the greatest idea at this point.
Above 50, and I am in favor of going for it. I'm in favor of going for it.
It's your call.
It's a 94. That's above 50.
Shit. Do I have to do the brackets, the double bracket, out of character?
Just slash roll space and type 100.
Oh, well, shit. Yeah, you know, I never liked bugs anyway.
Well, she walks over to a small area that's been enshrined from ages gone by,
I follow.
and stands there. Yeah, you just all got dragged to the map. You're all followed, whether you like it or not. And she says, "You know, if I do this, though, you'll have to deal with it. I'll help a little bit, but I will not fight this battle for you."
Alright, fuck it. Fuck it! Let's fucking do it.
I jumped!
Yeah,
I've
we
apparently
die.
lost
Die,
my
we die.
icon.
1 second, I gotta bring the other people on.
I unjump.
Ah,
Busy.
I appear to have lost my icon at some point.
So she...
Let's move her to. Here we go. Map layer. There we go.
And
I ask her to,
Okay. Whose icon's missing?
I got him.
Retap.
Okay.
There you go.
I
I'll
ask
make
her
sure everyone's
to
over here.
accompany or to help me with a ritual I created to do before battle. I call it the high five, and I explain it to her that it means she forcefully hits my arm as I forcefully hit her hand. I mean, together in a way of celebration.
Please miss.
Did I miss anyone?
Can we make him roll to
Jake
see if
isn't
he
here.
derps this up?
Yeah, I agree. I believe he should have to roll to see if he manages this high five.
She smirks. She says,
Hey,
"Fine." And
welcome.
you hold up your hand, and she just lightly taps it with one of her tails.
I accept, and I get really giddy.
Picks.
I,
Alright, did I miss anyone else? Jay.
although I don't like bugs and I don't like this decision to fight this thing, I do like fights.
Well, this will not be something easy. I will do a bit to help you.
Ha! Ha! I love things that aren't easy.
Okay, well,
Like
I-
Judith in the village.
I hope I don't regret my decision to help you with this, she says. Mapping background. Let's make sure this is on the right layer.
Is that Credence Clearwater Revival on the map?
Token layer. There we go. Is that right?
Credence Clearwater.
Have some tokens. There we go.
Objects and tokens, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Is this a hole out of character? Is this just a hole in the ground?
This is
Not just a
it's
hole.
a indentation that a long time ago the ground collapsed here in sealing something deep within the planet.
So it's
Yeah,
like
the
a
character-
burial ground thing?
Out of character, it's a bunch of stone that's been melted together with thermite.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Out of character thermite from a plasma wolf?
No.
No.
No, this is something much worse.
Oh, this is something much, much fucking worse.
In character. I'm so down.
I appreciate your confidence. Okay. She rests her hand onto the ground and closes her eyes as if she's feeling for something. The ground around you.
Stay behind us.
I put my hand on the ground as well for no reason other than to copy her actions.
What's the range of my bow?
Will you cut it out already?
I don't know the range of my bow.
Out of character. I gotta stay in
10
character.
tiles.
Dude.
10 tiles.
10 tiles?
Yeah.
Oh, God. How do I measure?
What are the range of my gauntlets?
1 tile.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or do you get the cheese strike thing?
I don't.
Okay. Not yet, okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're sure, she says with a... Oh, wait a minute. Yep, it's showing up on the screen there. As she rests her hand down there, the ground vibrates within the hole, and then starts just breaking up into smaller and smaller pieces of sand and swirling, and going downward into deep vortex, reaching further and further into the core of the planet. After a couple moments, you hear a screeching sound, and the sand bursts upwards out of the hole, and then settles back down, just violently, violently encircling the creature until it finally comes up. In the process of this, she's going to do a little bit of damage.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's see now. There we go. Okay. And let me grab this damn thing for a second if I can. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Where is the damn bar? It's too big. Okay, let me resize my screen so I can find where this stupid little cog thing is for this thing. Okay, let's
If I remember right,
promote.
the thing itself is on GM.
Yeah, it is. I'm putting it to map layer. Or token layer, rather. Yoink. There we go. Rawr, motherfucker.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Now let me get myself back up there, too. There we go. Map and background. Nope. Map and background. Go to objects and tokens. There we go.
Oh,
and
that's...
we need to take some damage. And it took how much was it? 64?
Yep.
Okay.
It tickled it.
Bring up the calculator for good measure.
If you just type -64, red circle, it'll do the calculation for
Oh,
you.
can you?
Yep.
Okay, hang on a second.
Out of character, do we know the health? Oh, the health bar.
No.
I was scrolled down. I didn't see
All we
that.
know is the Heroes of Legend faced thing, and they weren't able to kill it. They had to seal it away, and they almost died in the process.
Well, they're a bunch of pussies.
There we go. She did a little damage.
I like the way you speak.
After hurting it with these spinning sands, she takes a step back. Oh, you don't need to worry about instant reaction for this thing. This thing has one turn rather. Oh, sorry, I moved the wrong icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing has a moment in which it's not actually going to be able to do much of anything, because it's a little bit stunned from her moving the sands.
I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay, take your shot.
I'm gonna shoot it. Oh God.
Can I do mind probe on it?
I'm gonna stunning blow.
One at a time.
I quickly guzzle half of my gallon's worth of coffee.
Okay, Phil missed.
Yes!
Not Vic hit. Yay.
1d4 turns. Stun for 2 turn. Wrong window.
Oh, you're doing a stunning strike, are you?
Yes.
Just out of character,
There we
do stun stack.
Roll 1d4. There we go. Correct window. I like the first roll better. Oh well. It's done for an extra round. Yay.
Okay, that's good.
Out of character though, do stun stack? Like if I were to
No.
use stunning blow, I wouldn't. So
No,
I
it's
have to
already
wait.
stunned. It's already stunned.
Okay.
Okay, I need to know a little bit about how I'm supposed to roll for damage.
Okay.
You need to open
I'm
your
ranged.
skills.
Do you have
Nice.
anything that increases damage on you? Are you Kobatomsh?
It's me, Navik. I do.
Okay, you're empathy. No, if you go to your macros, there's a standard blue steel damage macro I made for everyone that you
Yep.
can use.
3d6.
I use combat empathy.
Okay,
That's
that
automatic.
allows you to predict combat. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
That's a
where was
toggle and
macros
assumed to
again?
always be on.
Okay, never mind.
Racial abilities. Can I use them at any time, or do I need to wait for my turn?
Yeah, they're considered to always be in use whenever you need them. Go. What do you need to use?
Just gauging him.
Oh fuck!
Yeah. I use cause fear and I smile.
Basically, gauge opponent. This thing is what it looks like for all intents and purposes.
Okay, got it.
Roll to hit first, Retep. If you go to your
It is
skills on your character sheet, next to your combat ability, hit the roll button.
Okay.
So if you hit, you'll do 13 damage.
That's CON.
Whatever one is in your skills, your combat weapon skill you have.
Okay.
Okay, 13 damage is
Pull it
calculated.
While it's stunned, I run up and punch it. Misses. Is that a miss?
Well, that's actually you going conk. Damn, this thing has hard armor.
Yeah, your thrown weapon there. Hit that.
Thrown weapon?
Not you.
Yeah,
him.
he was
Hey,
telling me.
good. You actually hit for 13. Nice. Well, not really 13, but.
No, I'm not accounting for this thing's PR. I decided to ignore it.
Then I
Oh,
jump.
okay, cool. We have a chance.
Yes, yes, you do.
Yay!
Because there's a smaller
what's-
group than I anticipated.
What's PR again?
It's
Physical
like
resistance, damage
armor,
reduction.
magic, that stuff.
Okay, can I try my kinetic blast?
Go for it. Nice.
Can I try my mind probe?
Okay, hang on one moment. Kevin, roll me some damage. Mind Blast is what rank?
Oh, wait. Okay, how do I do?
I believe it's rank 1.
Second monitor would be fantastic.
Kevin's page, character sheets.
I rolled.
I think you're using Kinetic Blast.
I rolled it already.
Yeah, Kinetic Blast. That's rank 3.
Okay, so 3d6.
Okay.
Out of character, what does leveling up like your one-handed weapon do specifically? Like
Better
my
hit chance.
Better hit chance. Okay, so do I apply that when I use my 1d20, or?
It's already applied if you're rolling from your character sheet.
Oh, okay. So I need to roll from my character sheet.
Yes.
Where am I gonna hit to roll that, or like?
Your combat ability you're using.
So under skills.
It's in skills.
Okay. So I need to start doing that from now on.
Okay, next up we had Iotep, I believe? Iolande, rather? Sorry.
Yep. Mind probe.
Okay, this thing's mind is far too alien.
Oh.
Credence has not gone.
This thing's far too alien. You have no idea what its thoughts or intentions are. You're getting basically like a weird whining noise in your head.
Ouch. That hurts.
Credence and Navius.
Is that the end of my turn then?
Okay, and who hasn't acted yet?
Credence and Navius.
Okay. Okay, Navius?
Steely?
Oh, I'm up again?
Yes. Oh,
All right.
I was told that you and Silly were the ones that hadn't acted yet.
You and Credence, yeah.
No, I've
Sorry.
already missed.
Okay,
Oh, did you? I didn't
yep.
see it.
Credence?
Okay.
I was looking.
I believe I have my blunderbuss equipped, right?
You have whatever you'd like equipped.
Sweet. Shout out to shoot it then.
Okay, take a shot. You're in a wonderful range. Incidentally, for those that moved into melee combat, move yourselves within 2 tiles of it.
Is that 2 tiles?
And I believe you... Oh, wait, an 8, and your target's 13, you missed.
Other way around.
Oh, other way around?
Target.
Oh, never mind, hit. Sorry.
Target's 8, he rolled a 13, so he does miss.
Okay, that's what I thought I said.
You said it backwards, but I thought it right.
Whoops. Okay.
Cool.
Okay,
Out,
it is...
out of character. On map, what is the effective area the character is? Just like a few blocks it's on, or inside
That
that
would...
third
The,
circle?
the circles there are its attack range.
You don't have it enabled where we can see that.
Oh, I don't? Okay.
I can
sorry.
do that.
No, we'll once it actually gets a chance to fucking attack, we'll do that.
Oh shit.
What is light Can I light generation on anything, or does it have to just generates around me?
Yeah, it generally generates around you. It's an aura.
Okay. Can I tell with my gauge opponent if this thing is sensitive to light?
It lives under the ground, so it's a fair guess.
I think that ends this round, and he's still stunned.
Yep, and he's stunned for one more round. Yay. Okay, let's go down the line again, and we're not going to do standard initiative because I don't feel like bringing it up right now. So we're going to start with Nodvik next round.
I shall hit it in the nude, to quote Lenny. And I missed somehow.
Yep, and next down the line, well, you weren't unable to penetrate its armor, effectively.
Yep.
What it comes down
How
to.
long does light generation last?
It's a toggle, so it's either on or off.
Okay, can I just toggle it on and then do an attack, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna toggle light generation on, and I'm going to attack it with my...
Toggles are free actions.
Sweet.
Good job.
Oh, nice. Roll some damage.
Rolling some damage. Equipment.
You have standard blue steel damage macros.
Oh, I do?
Yep. Should be down there.
Where's that?
Standard blue steel DMG.
It's in your collection to the left of settings. You got to check the box for in-bar.
Oh, I think I have it. I just don't.
Bottom left then.
Stat. No, it's not a stat roll.
It's not on your character sheet. It's on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You activate it, and then it should show up right next to stat roll.
I have to activate it. I'm not sure where to activate it, I guess.
Go to the left of the settings button. The 3 lines is where your macros are. Check the box for in-bar next to standard blue steel damage.
I see. Okay.
I didn't mean to do that.
There you go. 12.
There we go. Ooh, 203. Okay, next up we have Jane P.
Kiriel.
Yeah.
How big is the aura on light generation?
Let's see. I tried to hit it with my staff.
That requires getting into melee range. Feel free to move yourself next to it. Just run up to it and take a swing.
Alright. Melee range?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
And roll the hit.
Yes.
I yell at them to spread out.
Okay, and that is a... Let's see now. The first is the target, so that's a miss. Okay.
You gotta read Firefox.
And next up we have Retap. I'm going by the names where the names are ordered on the bottom. Did I skip Kevin?
Yes.
Sorry. I didn't see him for a moment there.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to step out for a bit.
No, it's okay. Kevin hides in the corner. That's fine.
Okay, I rolled for damage and rolled for throw weapon.
Okay. And let's see now. 9 points. -9. Well done so far. Okay, and next up we have, yes, that was Phil, was it, or Retap? Okay.
I went second last time, so I've already gone.
Okay.
I've
So,
gone the second time.
okay. Jake.
All right, so I try to punch it. I start this. God damn it!
Clank. Your hand glances off of it. Credence.
I scream. This makes me so angry.
You take your turn to scream.
I reload my blunderbuss and take aim again.
Okay.
And so my Firefox is screwed up. Ugh.
And that looks
Nice
like-
shot.
Yeah. Give me some damage.
No nuts. Wait, isn't that a miss?
Oh wait, wait. It's target second, isn't it?
Yeah, that's missing.
Yeah, that's a miss. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Oh well.
Yep.
Okay, now I yell, "Nice shot, no nuts."
Okay, I'm going to move Kevin off the board for a moment. There we go. Get him out of the way. Okay, it is now no longer stunned.
Shit.
It's its turn to attack. Now, who's close? We have Nodvik,
Oh shit.
Kirai, and Jake. So let's give a quick roll here to see who it decides to target. 1d6 halved. There we go.
There we go. Back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to target Kiriel.
Oh, thank God.
Shit.
Oh, thank God.
And I need to make another quick roll before I do that. Okay, let's see now. /R1d20. Oh, that's good. Okay. The creature comes down towards you to attack. Its entire bulk reaching down towards you. Its mouth opens wide and broad. Mandibles go out to the side, and as the mandibles begin to close around you and its mouth starts closing around your head, a shield of force appears around you for a moment that it butts up against and then recoils backwards. In the meantime, its smaller heads lash out to attack. One for Nodvik. Let's see now. Let's do that again. That's 1d20. Hits. Let's go to Kiriel with one of the smaller heads. Also hits. Oops. 3d6. Hang on a second.
I'm gonna, out of character, I'm gonna roll something.
Okay,
just to
reduce.
See if I can do it on my phone.
You need to reduce this value by your physical resistance. What's your current physical resistance, Nodvik?
7.
Okay, so reduce that by 7.
So I got 5 damage.
Okay. Okay, 11 go to Kiriel.
Minus your PR.
Reduced by PR, which is... What's your physical resistance, Kiriel?
Give me a second. Physical resistance.
PR. 2. Okay, you've taken 9 points.
Where do you see
Ouch.
PR?
It should be under stats.
Under stats?
Next to your life level.
Ouch.
I see,
Yeah.
I see.
That's going to hurt. Okay, the next one is going to go for Jake.
So you know how to do it, Kiriel. Click on your token and in the little red circle, click in there and hit -9. Hit enter.
Oh, shit.
What?
Goodbye, Jake. Click on yourself on the board, and you're going to see a red circle that appears above it.
Uh-huh.
Click in there and type in -9, hit enter.
Jake, what species are you?
Sochi?
Thank God, you took 22 points of damage. You might survive.
Minus your PR.
Yeah, minus PR, obviously.
Oh, shit.
What's your PR?
4, I think.
Okay.
I got it for you. There you go, like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so your PR is 4, and it did 22, so it did 18?
17, 7. Yeah, 18.
Ooh,
So
wow,
you know how to
yeah.
do that, right? Click on your token, click in the red circle, type -18 and hit enter.
I'm at 3.
Yep.
Well, I did
And
that, so-
Retep is next. Got a fucking crit. That sucked. And it misses Retep by a fucking mile.
Well, to be fair, that is a pretty good distance.
Yeah. It missed by a freaking mile, but yeah, it's... Hang on. And now that you have an idea of its combat range, let me give 1 second here.
Oh, we still don't see the green.
Yeah, you're about to. You're about to. Now that you have an idea of how it fights and what its combat range is, we are adding in a referential for you guys. Oops, that was not the right button, was it? Yeah, okay. Or was it? It doesn't look right on my other screen. Let me fix this.
I'm just refreshing.
Oh, it's not supposed to be square. Sorry about that. Let me do that right. There we go. Tint color? No, that's not it. Where's the show aura? It's under advanced. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
There we go. I was clicking the wrong thing. Sorry about that, guys. Let me fix that. There we go. That's its combat range.
Shiza.
Seeing how badly damaged you are, Kiva looks concerned and decides to do one more hit on it. Give you guys one more round to go after it.
Tis but a flesh wound. Am I bleeding, or
You're very hurt.
what kind of damage did it do to me?
You are a little fucked. You're going to need like medical attention as soon as fucking possible.
Okay.
Okay. Very good.
Jake, right, is the one who's hurt, right?
Yep.
Yes. So are you.
Fantastic.
Wow, she's rolling low.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. And because of these spinning sands swirling around it, etc., it is stunned for 1 turn. Y'all get 1 free round of attacks. And let's go back to the list here, going left to right. Let's start with Nodvik.
Is it possible for me to hold my action and take it just before it takes its turn?
What's your instant reaction?
My instant reaction is 4, I think, on here. Let me double check that. I don't remember what this one is. Skills. Instant reaction is 4, yes.
You can then. Okay.
I will do that.
Next we have Kevin, who's AFK. Jane P, based on what's on the bottom.
Okay, I run to Jake, and I apply medical attention to him.
Okay, roll me your healing dice. Are you going with an item or are you going with a magic power?
I'm going with an item.
Okay.
I have a first aid kit.
And first aid kit should be 1d6.
Or actually, field medicine kit.
That's 2d6, I believe, is it? Or is it 3?
Yeah. 2d6, yeah.
Okay,
2d6,
roll to do your healing. Roll 2d6.
12. I don't need your help.
You're getting it.
Yes, you
either
do.
way.
Okay.
Nice! That's good. So, plus 10 into that red circle.
Yeah, we got it.
So are my wounds gone? Or at least...
No, you're no longer bleeding all over the fucking place and you're feeling a little bit better, but...
So
you
my
also...
wounds are closed, so I won't need to use closed wounds?
Mm-hmm.
They're bandaged.
Yeah. Yeah, you're bandaged, you're not going to bleed out. At least there's that.
Okay.
Hit it hard, brother.
Okay, Retep.
I'm gonna probably do the same roll again since I was double checking my skills to make sure I didn't have anything that could make it so I was less likely to get hit by something in another turn. So I'm gonna use. Go roll that first.
Nice. Nice.
Got a sharpshooter over here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to roll for damage.
14. Good start. Okay. Phil.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna step a little bit closer with my light generation. See if that affects it. What's the radius on it?
It doesn't seem to care about your light generation.
I'm gonna go back out here then. and I'm gonna shoot it.
For that matter, it might be completely blind.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, target's a 9, and you roll the 13. Next, Jake.
I use... I try to hit it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find where I click the roll thing again.
It's in skills.
Skills. Okay, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you hit.
Finally, fuck.
5d6 plus your strength.
Plus your damage.
Whoa.
Whoa.
20.
Got him.
Nicely done. And
Punch him.
So is it going to be stunned for this coming turn, and then we'll go again?
It wears
no,
off
it's stunned this turn. This is your free attack round. Credence.
And then we'll get another attack.
Gotcha. I put my blunderbuss on my back and use my skill inhibit sense.
What sense are you inhibiting?
Say again?
What sense are you inhibiting?
His sight.
It said he was already
It
might be
it
blind.
might
so...
it might be blind. You don't know whether this thing can actually see or not, but it doesn't seem to care about the light.
Gotcha. Never mind. Going for another blunderbuss shot.
There are other senses
Take
too.
away its-
Yeah, you could take away its sense of hearing.
Smell.
Smell, hearing.
I know I smell pretty bad, so that might be why he targeted me so badly last time.
Wait.
Go to the Soshi in most need of a bath.
Yeah.
I only bathe in the blood of my enemies.
Yeah, it's not creepy.
It's not very clean. I'm sorry.
Never mind. I'm shooting it again.
Okay, take your shot.
Ah, damn.
What the fuck, man?
Glancing blow, you just barely missed. Okay, the critter is not happy. It's probably going to try to retreat. Let me just verify that.
Wait, I held my action as it comes unstunned. I'm going to stunning blow.
Clever.
And I stunned it.
Very good. Seeing as it was about to manage to get away.
For 3 rounds.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's going to get its will save to try to break that, but each round, but that's okay. It does not get it the first round. Y'all take your free swings.
Yep, and I ended that turn, and I'm first next turn, yay! Alright, I'm gonna punch this thing in the nerds. And I missed.
Hmm
Oh.
It has no nerds. You realize that after swinging.
Oh. Those are
Next.
mad, so just rocks.
Yeah, pretty much. You punched it in a rock. Whoops. Okay, next up we have skip Kevin because you have K. Jane.
Alright. I'm gonna hit it again with my with my staff.
Okay, take a swing. And we have a hit. Roll us some
wait,
damage.
Wait, you
That's
have the
int.
wrong stat on your character sheet. It says int. Change that to hit.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Do I roll again then?
Well, just hit it once, and I want to see what the value is.
Hit it again?
Yeah, just hit it
Roll
one
up,
more time.
roll up, but we're keeping the 11. So
Actually, she hit either way, so we're fine.
Okay.
Roll your damage.
Okay.
I'm a forgiving GM sometimes. Yeah, luckily this one's not fully mature.
Oh god.
Yeah, the first time they had to deal with one that was fully mature. This was a random one.
that's your healing, not your damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
You should do 3d6, right?
Yep.
It's the blue steel.
Standard blue steel damage button.
But the damage dice says 2d6.
That's your
3d6 is damage when you're hitting with a staff.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Sorry.
Oh, are you untrained?
Yeah, I'm untrained.
You don't
Oh.
want weapons.
Yeah, I don't have weapons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Give her the hit anyway, though.
Okay, so do 3d6 instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's being very nice as wow.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
That is
We need it.
satanic.
Oh yeah. Okay, 18. Nice. Okay, next up we have retap.
Okay. Roll for throw.
Crit.
And then roll for damage.
Okay, minus 18. Well done. And
I'm telling you, we got a sharpshooter here, man.
Yeah, man.
3, 3, 2.
Yeah. Is that the third time he's pulled that off?
What? Throw
The
weapon
previous
do
2
you
were
have?
3s. This one was a 2.
What are you throwing at it?
Okay, hang on. What weapon are you using again?
Throw.
I'm blue steel throwing knife.
Okay.
I should be. What is this? This is my third throw, so that means I should have what?
Or, but I'm on.
17 left.
And you're okay, so you're throwing knives?
Yes.
Yes.
Add marksman
I
skill.
am visibly upset that my that he is actually hitting him more than my gauntlets are.
Considering those 3 rolls, add marksmanship to your sheet.
As a skill at rank 1.
Yep.
Where? So that's under skill. Okay.
Yep.
That's reflex.
I think so.
Out of character, what exactly does martial arts do? I know it's more of a defensive thing.
It's techniques, learning techniques, and mastering your combat.
It's a way to try not to be hit.
So when can I roll for that? Do I at all?
Whenever something's trying to hit you, you can roll against it to see if you can roll lower.
Shit.
Yeah, you have to outdo their roll.
I should have known to use that
Bow
last
time?
That's okay.
Bow time?
And marksmanship was a reef,
I believe so. I
yeah.
think it is.
Put it under reflex.
and then add 1 to okay.
Because you're using a knife. There, you actually put marksmanship and put knife in brackets after it. Just so we know what it's with, so you can't switch to like a projectile weapon proper later. And yeah, this is a specialized one that's just with a knife skill.
Okay.
You can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Who were we on last? That was Retep. So we're.
Phil?
Oh, Phil just went. Okay.
I haven't
Phil?
gone yet.
No, Phil was starting his turn.
There we go.
Hey, you
Yep.
hit.
Yeah. Give me some
Get
damage.
him.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Very nice, very nice.
There we go. And next we have Jake.
Alright, I'm gonna try to
With
hit him.
credence.
Oh,
Oh no, you're right, Jake. My bad.
punch him in the face, Jake.
Nice.
I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Got him.
Damn.
21.
How you doing so much damage, boy?
Kobaton. Melee.
No.
Is
Me.
he ready to be subdued?
All just about. We have credence up.
Alright, taking another shot.
Take a shot, numbnuts.
Oh, what the fuck?
Nice shot, numbnuts.
Maybe you should move up.
You do have a shotgun, buddy.
Yeah.
How far away is he? Can you do the arrow thing?
Sure.
35 feet with the shotgun? A blunderbuss too? I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
you
it's
need to be
spreads.
in melee range.
It's
Yeah,
spreads.
In its mouth.
Hey, if you stand behind me, I'll protect you.
Now he needs his save for the stun.
Yep, that's what I'm doing now. Just brought it up. And it recovers.
Oh shit.
Oof, 12 beats the 2.
It shakes it off a little bit. It looks very much like it wants to retreat. At this point, it tries to go back underground. Kiva puts her hands on the ground, and the wind pushes it upward. Actually, almost as if hands made out of wind themselves were dragging it up by its lovely little heads there, all the little ones. And the ground solidifies underneath it, turning into solid stone. It's part in the ground, part out of the ground, and screaming and making all kinds of racket, trying to figure out how to free itself and get away, because it realizes that it's injured and it's bleeding very badly. Anyone care to attack, or are you going to wait?
I
We're
want
at
to
it.
attack.
I'm
I
going
want to
attack.
attack.
I'm waiting. Whack. I, once again, don't pierce its armor.
Can I go ahead and attack?
As you are swinging, Kiva says, "What are you doing?" Go ahead, swing.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and swing. And
2 damage. Nice.
Oh my god. This better not be dead.
I doubt it.
She yells, "Stop!" At this point, the creature collapses to the ground with 1 hit point left, going, "Oh fuck, you got lucky. You almost killed it."
Oh my god!
That's non-lethal.
I look at Jake and I'm like, what's wrong with you?
That's what she says. Totally intentional.
So out of 300 hit points, it's now down to 1. Well done.
Okay, that was lucky. That was really lucky. Does
She
it
walks.
actually have 1 left?
Yes.
Oh my
I've been
god.
keeping count.
She walks over to it, and you feel wind rushing around her. The creature gasps for air a couple times, and then goes silent.
I ask her if I can take a trophy. Like a tooth.
She says, "Well, I'm hoping you won't wake it up. I just knocked it out. I took away its airflow." At which point she commands to the earth yet again and expels the creature from the ground. And it has a tail that goes down pretty damn far. It actually goes down, good grief, the tail's probably about a good 60, 70 feet long. So this thing underneath the ground is pretty freaking enormous. She then, while resting her hand on the ground, a hole just kind of opens up in front of her and metal pulls into it. And then at her command, the metal funnels outward and binds all 6 of its smaller heads together, while another one binds its body so that it can't move. So you now have this massive freaking creature that's mostly contained.
So out of character, did she say I could take a trophy? I was a little...
Don't wake it up.
She said don't wake it up.
Don't risk it.
Now that it's bound, if you really want to try to pull a tooth or something, feel free, but it's not going to be able to do much help anyway.
People are about...
I do it.
We probably shouldn't do it.
Oh my god.
I take a tooth in the back of one of its smaller mouths that's not showing.
Okay. Carry one out.
How do I roll for that?
I don't. No, it's a non-combat action. This thing's out cold now.
Okay, I take its tooth, I put it on my trophy necklace.
The sickening part is she could have pulled away the air and knocked it out to begin with. She just wasn't willing to because you needed to prove yourselves.
So now I have another tooth on my necklace and goes with the sandworm tooth.
Out
That
of
you didn't kill.
curiosity, I read surface thoughts of Jake.
Incidentally, it's actually called a Gaian parasite.
Can I read his surface thoughts?
It's asleep.
No,
He's
she's
talking
in
about
mine.
Jake.
Not
Oh.
Jake's.
Oh, Jake's. Oh. What's on your mind, Jake? Is exactly what he's thinking. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, he's apparently delirious.
Yeah, it's a good time to go ahead and close those wounds now.
I use closed wounds. Do I have to roll for that?
Actually, at this point, Kiva takes out some salve and starts sealing the wounds of the creature so it will survive.
I was going to use it on myself.
No, you should close your own wounds now. I say character to you.
What do I roll for closed wounds?
It's your knock ability. There's a roll button next to it.
Yeah, that's successful. And what closed wounds is what level? Rank 2, I think.
Yep.
So 2d6.
Okay.
Wow, that sucked.
I use a field medicine kit on myself.
Out of character, I am shocked and freaking surprised that I made it out of that battle only taking 5 hits. Holy crap.
Y'all managed to keep it stunned. That was the right way to go.
That was my entire plan if we did end up going there. I did not want to fight that thing.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
Led the charge.
I rolled for it because everyone was so busy considering and thinking it over, so I rolled for it.
Yeah. So you have a trophy that you can present to the Eschalar when they show up. That'll be interesting. And it will eventually show up. The question is when, and the bigger question, and Kivaza does mention this, is that she hopes that her team's able to come here before they arrive. She congratulates you on your victory. And let me get this thing off the damn map, because it is out of commission, and it is now a trophy of the E2 that can be presented to the Eschalar. That'll fucking rock.
So, what exactly do closed wounds do for me? Does it add health, or is it just...
You got 4 points back.
4 points of health back, and your all of your anything that was still bleeding and all that is closed up and healing properly now.
Did somebody already apply those for me?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Can I collect my arrows? Any of them break?
You can pull your arrows out of his hide, yes. That's easy enough. The thing's prone. And they're blue steel core, so they're pretty durable.
Same with the throwing knives.
Yes.
Okay.
The blunderbuss ammo, some of it seems to have gone off into the tree line. Good luck finding it.
Oh, you're not going
You
to
can
recover
get
that.
more.
You're not.
Yeah, you can get more.
You can restock when you get back to the base. Once you get back to your colony site.
And let's see, do I have this healing abilities of any kind?
All right. Well, after that, I do have to go. It's early in the morning for me. So
I was just
I got a
Yes.
character, obviously.
Okay.
So, I have enjoyed myself. When is the next?
Well, if you will give a couple more moments, we will jump ahead
Couple
just for a moment, because I want to take care of one thing before anyone heads out. her care package is going. She heads out after this, and her care package arrives after several weeks have passed. Now, in with that care package, one of the devices is a strange crown-like thing that she referenced. And,
I try to put it on my head.
And for the person that's leaving, we're going to deal with you first. I'm going to ask you to roll a d20 to see the results of the psionic training device.
Oh no, that's so fucking rough. Okay, so what do I type in here to do 1d20?
Just say the generic 1d20 macro.
Oh, there's a generic 1d20 macro. Okay, well I need to put that out here. So, generic 1d20 macro.
There we go. Okay, nothing special. There we go. You will get the standard handout with everything else if I can find the damn handout. There we go. Okay, we're going to have everyone going through and giving me a roll of d20 for when the device does get here, because I'm going to get that squared now. This is, once again, several weeks after she's left, because once this combat's done and once the creature is bound, she has no further need to be here. You've already agreed to her terms.
Want me to go ahead and throw that in all players' journals?
I'm about to do that now. All players.
Is the lower roll on this better? Or what?
Yes. Lower is better.
Mine was garbage.
Damn it. Yeah, it works, though. The thing we're looking for is anything under a 5 or a 20.
Alright, so Jake got normal stuff.
Next.
I'll go next, I guess. Oop. 8.
Okay.
Dang.
I can't find the macro. Where is it? Sorry.
In the 3 lines and 3 dots button, it says generic 1d20. Check the in bar and it'll appear on the bottom left.
Okay. Bottom left.
I was so hoping for a 1.
Well, of
Okay.
course.
What all stuff is going to be 2d6? Like closed wounds, how that was 2d6?
That's basically because of the rank of the knack
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah, the knack ability is rank 2, so it does 2d6.
Come on, good money, good money. For some reason it's not rolling.
My closed wounds is rank 1.
Alright, after you check in bar, you click the button on the bottom
Oh,
left.
never mind. I know what you mean. Never mind. I got that.
Oh, the macro works.
11, nothing special.
Aw.
Who's next?
Oh, I found
Oh,
you.
fuck. Okay. Okay, in addition to what's on the trainer results there, you will also be getting 2 other skills. You'll be getting Forward Observer and Shadowing.
Forward observer and shadowing.
Forward Observer at rank 1 is an int-based skill. And Shadowing at level 1, which is a reflex-based skill. I'll give you a moment to type that in.
Forward observer and what is the other one?
Shadowing.
Shadowing, and also the other one that is 2 only.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Gunnery. Yeah, Gunnery level rank 1. I forgot that was 2. Thank you.
Yep.
And gunnery?
Gunnery at rank 1.
Yeah. Yeah, shiny.
Yeah, the
That one relies on hit.
the programming of it was a little fucked up.
It glitched out in a
Yeah.
good way for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got skills that it was not supposed to give you because it glitched, and it was programmed in a hurry. So this happens.
Long
Okay.
arms,
Is it my turn to roll then?
Go for it.
int.
13. No specials. Next.
Computer.
Credence, I think that's you.
Has Phil rolled yet?
Is he still here?
Yeah, here.
Oh, Credence isn't here.
Oh,
Yeah, you had to go.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah.
Who left?
Okay, next. Doesn't matter which one of y'all's next.
Retip?
Uh,
Retip?
Already been.
I'm
Jake?
going to go ahead and roll for my Dujari as well. 13,
Okay.
nothing special.
Okay, Jake
So that I can-
and Phil, have you 2 rolled yet?
yeah, I rolled.
I
was the
rolled.
first one.
Okay.
Okay,
I had the
everyone's
10.
rolled then.
Okay, rock on. Okay, we have one person that rolled wonderfully. Yeah. I was hoping somebody would roll a 20 because that's fucking hilarious. You lose your ability to speak your native tongue. Also, all the skills from that handout will be added as well. In addition to this, everyone that is not Silshi will be getting a suit of armor.
So she doesn't need armor.
Well, actually, it's more so that she couldn't provide armor for the Silshi. She'd need your body measurements, and she doesn't have that information.
Well, she's welcome to measure my body anytime she wants.
Oh my god.
She might.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, so it's, what is it made out of? Like steel or?
Okay, it's made out of a specialized combat weave fabric. It's scout armor. It provides PR of 5.
Oh, fuck.
You have a PR of 4 that has fire resistance. What you complaining for? They don't got fire resistance.
The logo on the front of it is a kind of G-like shape that looks like a C with a comet or something like that. It's made by a company called Gamaro Inc. Also, now that y'all can actually read the back of the mysterious token, I'm going to move that from the GM notes up to there. Because with the linguistic ability that you're endowed with by that, you can read this thing now, if you're curious to do so. Let me get that added up here. Come on, enter, Control V. There we go, and up, save changes. Now that it can be read. Okay.
Oh, Shadow Tear just showed up in Twitch.
Oh.
He could have been in
Did she
here.
really give us like a little kid game art?
Yes, it's a freaking arcade token, but that arcade's closed, so yeah, that's what you were given.
It's our secret thing.
It's what she happened to have in her pocket at the time.
I feel patronized.
What type of armor is it? Chest armor?
It's full body armor.
Full body.
Yeah, full body.
So what all did we get from the stuff we put on our head?
It's in the handout.
Yeah, it's in the handout.
You have alarms, defense operations, int skill, computer operations, int skill, machinery operations, int skill, reconnaissance, int skill, obscure knowledge, understanding of off-world technology and culture, linguistics, common Corollas hominid type language.
So basically, you now know the outside of your planet common tongue, as well as the basic understanding to operate machines and computers.
And Kiriel, you didn't have your staff's.
All of these are at rank 0, though, right?
Yeah, they're unlocked.
They're just not learned.
Yeah, they would cost 1 point to learn at this point.
Yes. They are fully
Kiriel,
unlocked.
Yeah.
Do you have any combat skills that you're trained in right now, other than gunnery that you just got?
I'm just trying to learn.
Do you have any, though?
No, no.
Then you now have rifle at rank 0.
Another glitch. Anyone who does not have a combat skill gets rifle at rank 1.
I can't believe I went into that fight without any combat skills.
Well, you have your powers. That works.
I tried so hard.
Hey, you didn't heal me.
You
But I
healed
didn't
somebody,
need
yeah. I didn't need it, right.
I have a question. The armor's not showing up. It's not being added to worn armor.
It needs to be
You gotta
added
check
into
the
the one.
box. Check the box
check the
under your
box.
queue.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you go.
Does it have an encumbrance?
No.
Okay.
So then we do get the skills obscure knowledge +1? Or is that only people that have that?
Oh, if you don't have... No, it's +1. You get it at rank 1. Whatever the plus is, that's what you get it at. If
Okay,
it
so
says
I gotta go
+1,
ahead
then you're
and
getting
add
it at rank 1 if you don't have it.
Okay, sweet.
This literally is just, so to speak, beaming the experience into your head. Think like Matrix.
Okay.
The montage exists only in your head while you're wearing the device.
Linguistics.
Let me go back here and get her
Sweet.
off that map so I don't forget.
I'm gonna move this up.
Yoink, and Miss Kiva is gone.
Sweet. So now what?
Okay, let's see now. It was several weeks before the initial care package arrived.
Wait, one second. Since it's been a few weeks, can I go ahead? Am I healed
Full
yet?
HP,
Or
yeah.
okay.
Yep, you can put yourselves back to full health. Yes, very much so.
Shit, what was my full health number? 20.
Oh,
20.
okay. In the notes for the armor, add that it has basic elemental resistance. It's PR5 basic elemental resistance. I just found the page in my notes. Here we go. Gamaro Inc. brand. Which means it was made by Barshana's company.
Which also means it is a alloy of CTT.
No, it's not.
Oh.
No.
What?
It's actually a special combat fiber.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, CTT is force, not element.
Yep. And its basic elemental resistance. It doesn't provide like too much of a real bonus, but yeah. It's protection from the elements in terms of, you know, if it's really windy or what have you. It's not going to protect you from an actual attack per se. Basic is an environmental suit. That's why it's
HEV
basic.
Suit.
I'd take more EV suit.
Yeah. Let's see now, and we are at, there we go. Translator with E2, didn't actually have to do that.
Telling Shadow he should hop in and do his 1d20 for his training.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't actually have to go through that. He doesn't need that stuff.
Oh, yeah, wait, what is he?
No, he should be Samsaran.
Yeah, maybe.
That's an E2 thing.
Is there anything else we're doing?
Yes, but we're waiting a moment for everyone to finish their stuff here. Taking a brief intermission so I can get more coffee and whatnot.
Yeah, he's Samsaran.
Hey, I still have some in my gallon, if you want it.
Oh shit, sorry, there is one other thing that was delivered in with that pack. It's a bunch of small red circles.
I put them in my fanny pack.
No, you fucking don't. Shut up. Let me finish. Okay, it's a bunch of small red circles, and there's a kit to... It's referred to as installing them. You're supposed to put them on your forehead. All of the servants of the Eshalar are basically marked with these bindies, is what they call them. And they use them as control devices, so that they can sit there and basically shock you and all this other fun stuff if you try to disobey them. And these, of course, are false ones that you're meant to put on yourselves, or, for that matter, there's a removal kit, so you can replace one on somebody else if you need to. And the point of these is to basically, if you're going to have an insurgence, you need to make sure that they cannot have that kind of control over folks. So you have a box of bindies and a removal kit.
I
An
put the
insulation
removal kit in my fanny pack.
You sure you're not an E2?
Yeah, really. Grabby.
Yeah.
Regardless, the party has it, and he's declaring that he's the one that's holding it. So.
I have a utility belt, and I want to have utilities in it.
Okay, Batman.
Yeah, it should go to someone with biology.
Biology?
They can use it if they need it, but I like to carry it.
Somebody's biology can be used more effectively, but it doesn't matter who's carrying it as long as the group has it somewhere.
I take the red orb, and I put it in the palm of my hand, and then I slam my hand into my forehead.
That's not how it works.
I do it anyway.
Oh, okay, you slam it into your head and break one of them, yeah. And it's not an orb, it's just a little round, flat disc.
It's like a sticker.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's a sticker that fuses to you on a biological level when in contact with it, actually. Hey, Vincent, if you want, this is a good time to join.
I guess I watch somebody else apply it, and then I do the same thing with another one that's not broken.
Can I ask if we got any BP points? I guess
That will be awarded later.
You have to
okay.
roll to be able to ask that.
We're not.
Really?
Oh, smart ass. No. However, I am about to ask everyone to roll perception.
Okay.
What is that?
Go to your character sheet, click perception, and roll.
Is that just under stats?
That's int.
Yeah.
I'm just not stressed or anything.
I
Okay.
don't notice a damn thing.
Okay, Nodic, you see cows. You don't know why, but you see cows.
Oh,
Oh.
there we go.
Hey, what about me? What do I see?
Okay, I'll get to you in a moment.
You're sure those cows are actually spiders?
I am?
No.
You rolled the 18, right?
Yeah. I don't like bugs,
Okay,
dude. They freak me out.
Now, after the arrival of the care package, there's been something that Retep noticed a few days ago that's been kind of hovering above the planet. A large, strange shape. It looks almost like it has some kind of shell with a bunch of tentacles dangling out of it that was just kind of hanging out there for a while. Just after the care package arrives, 6 days pass, almost 7, and then that strange-shaped object that you'd noticed and been pointing out to people, even though most of them didn't notice it and didn't believe you, except for Jane. Sorry, except for Iolanda. I'm going to get used to that. You notice that it's left. It's gone. And the next day, a ship arrives in orbit. It hovers over for a little bit of a while. Now, the actual assistants, the people that were supposed to be sent along with that care package haven't arrived yet. Lady Darkseid's schedule apparently wasn't quite fast enough. There we go. The ship slowly lowers down from the atmosphere and comes into a landing and waits there for a while with the doors closed, facing towards the primary settlement. Waits for the people to start assembling around it. Now, not just those gathered here that actually form around it. It's all of the tribes start sending people to look and watch. It's a spectacle. And you really don't really have much of an idea what the hell's going on, and the ship just remains closed. The back portal's all sealed up, and what you do notice, it looks like they could possibly be gun turrets that are pointing outward. And they seem to be just moving around slowly and tracking everyone's motions. There we go. I didn't actually bring that one up. Let me bring this over.
I put up my cloak and I put my hood on. That way, they can't make fun of me.
And after enough people have gotten in here, and this is where Vince, you'll be making your appearance in a brief moment. Am, you ready? You in the app? Yes. Click join game if you haven't already. Over on the right there? Oh, well, that'll help.
Hello, people.
There we go.
Hello.
But you have to join the game. There we go. Okay. The transport arrives. Now, after enough people, after there's enough of an audience, so to speak, there, the rear hatch of the transport lowers to the ground rather rapidly at that point, for that matter. And out come 3 dancing girls, wearing flowy clothing, spinning and twirling, doing this elaborate dance with a sword balanced on each of their heads.
Can I read their surface thoughts?
Yeah. One of them's a little bit nervous because she didn't get enough sleep. Another one, Em? Surface
Is a
thoughts?
little bit nervous because this is the first.
Not you. Go ahead.
Is a little bit nervous because this is the first time she's ever been to a different planet.
I take my hood off.
Oh, incidentally, the one thing you notice that these women are remarkably attracted to the, well, considering what you've been told about the Echelard, this should not be at all surprising since they're all about aesthetics. But yeah, all these women are strikingly attractive representatives of humanity, and that's as simple as that, or at least the race they are, which is the Samsaran. But as the girls dance and do their whole thing, sitting there greeting you with a flurry of skirts and the glitter of their armor, which is scale mail from the waist down, going back and forth, and bras that are made out of a strange fabric like none you've ever seen before, and these elaborate veils and the swords. One of the girls, while she's dancing, her foot gets stuck in a small rut in the ground. And she trips and falls, and the sword falls down, slicing the side of her leg. It managed to get through her armor, and she's bleeding profusely. A third person comes off the ship at this point, and let me just move everyone to that screen. There we go. Yoink. A third person steps off of the ship and comes down and walks amongst the group of you and looks over to you two sadly and says, "I'm sorry, I must interrupt the show for a moment. However," and she walks over and looks down at the girl who's been injured and calls calls to Vincent's character and says, "Come, tend to her. I must know if this will leave a scar." Now, incidentally, the thing you notice is this woman is a blue-skinned Samsaran, just like the dancing girls, but she's wearing a strange harness on her back, which has given her 4 additional arms.
Huh.
So 4 of her arms are mechanical.
She's like Doc Ock. Out of character.
Obviously.
Is
Okay,
she
Vincent,
alive?
it's going to leave a scar. You tell her?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to leave a scar.
That's unfortunate, she says. She looks at the girl and she says, Celica, Narataki, you may want to get back on the ship for a moment. Yeah. Narataki, do you remember?
Oh, yeah. But please don't do anything. I'm sure she'll be fine.
If it's going to scar, you know what I need to do, says Rai Shiva. Rai Shiva turns and looks up at the cameras and then glances down at you and says, you know they're watching.
I'm sure we can fix it. It won't even be noticeable.
She activates her sword and tells the girl to assume the position. You know what to do.
I hesitantly walk back to the ship.
She lowers the sword, deactivating it for a moment, deciding to show a little bit of mercy. Places the metal bar of it at the back of her neck.
I can heal her.
She looks to you and says, "It will scar."
No, I have, I am.
Lord.
I am more advanced in medicine than your that other dancer.
She looks at you and says, "More advanced on medicine on a primitive world. I find that hard to believe." She looks back at the camera and then back towards where she's holding her sword. 5, 4, 3. Can I say something? 3, 2, 1.
Let me at least try.
Okay. What ability are you using?
I have medicine and first aid.
That won't be sufficient.
Is Kevin still here? Or Navius? I don't know if either of you took the thing that'll do it, but
Navius left.
Yeah, he had to head out.
Gotcha. I know one character, but I don't know if he's here.
Okay.
Oh, well.
No Lordsman present then.
No, we have one. If all of us is in the background, we could use him.
Yeah, Vincent won't be able to restore this one. She says, she looks down at the girl, and for anyone with empathy, there is legitimate sorrow within her. And she says, "Praetus, I know you serve the Masters well, but you know it must be done."
Yes, hello.
Is he a Lordsman?
He also has small surgery.
That won't help.
Okay.
The problem is after healing, if they get any coloration or anything like this, there'll be that white mar against their flesh. That's enough. At which point she presses a button on the hilt of her sword and it activates, severing the girl's spine. She collapses to the ground in a lump. She says, "It was instant. It was painless."
Out of character, right? Pew. The girl messed up her dancing and she sliced her own leg, right? And
And it would leave a scar, so she was sentenced to death.
yeah.
That's all it says.
I am incensed, but I keep my tongue. I don't say anything.
Okay, she raises the sword back over her shoulder and seems to be eyeing the camera's anger. You can almost feel the anger coming off of her, even if you don't have empathy. She was not happy about having to do that, but it's her job. She wanders back towards the ship and says, "Well, I think we ruined the show. Feel free to greet the locals. Let's see who we can recruit to come with us. And she goes and sits on the ramp exiting the ship for a little bit, waiting for further instructions.
To come with you where?
Oh,
To the Ishilar's homeworld, right?
I'm asking in character.
she smiles and says, "Oh, we're going to take you to a wonderful place where your people will be embraced and loved. We will be taking you and introducing you to the true gods, and they will bring you enlightenment and peace and a joyous tomorrow."
Embraced and loved in the same way you loved your friend there?
It is the way of our people.
Your people aren't our people.
She is worthless if she is not perfect.
Are you saying your people wouldn't wish to be perfected?
I think we have different views of perfection.
Kirill tries to establish a telepathic link with Nodric.
Done. As long as they don't resist.
I'm not.
Okay. Link established.
Okay. We're trying to infiltrate, remember? If we antagonize them too much, they may get suspicious later when we agree to come.
I'm gonna sense danger as she's
It's a incidentally it's a telepathic link, so you can communicate 2 ways with it.
Yeah. Do I sense danger at all with my racial?
Not right now, no.
But from the fact that she's telling me this psychically.
Not right now, no. And it'd be her voice in your head, so you'd know who was speaking to you.
Yeah, but if somebody overheard that and decided to attack us, I might be able to sense that.
You're not getting that impression. That and a telepathic link is fairly secure.
Okay. Yeah, but we apparently have our own way there. By the looks of it, these guys might just kill us because we don't look good to them on the way back.
Not if you show yourself to be valuable. Oh, sorry. Wait, no, they can't hear that. That was telepathic. Sorry, shutting up.
Oh.
I step forward and take off my cloak and ask if I'm pretty. I'm albino, remember?
Yeah.
You are certainly very interesting.
Well, interesting does earn you your place within our society. Now, especially if one's strong. I mean, we do have many roles. Not everyone can be a dancer. It's one of the highest stations that we have within our society is those that are able to dance and perform. It's a wondrous thing, but it does require a level of perfection. Those who have not been perfected, we do have many roles in our society for them.
I focus for a minute and then strike a pose, flexing my pectorals.
Novik, we have the monster corp.
Yeah, I'm about to.
You seem very strong.
Yeah. Look at her as like, we have different ways, saying out loud, not telepathic link. We have different ways of proving ourselves in our society, and I point down the way to where the monster is tied up.
You'll have to bring it to the landing site. You didn't have any clue where they were going to land. You'll have to bring it to them.
Yeah, I just point in that direction.
And what are you speaking of, she says as she steps back out in front of the cameras. Oh, sorry, the gun turrets are actually cameras. You've figured that out by this point.
Yeah. You had to have seen it on your way down. It's huge. It's impossible to miss. It's bigger than the buildings over there. Unless you're just not a perceptive people.
Ooh.
Saying that knowing that I didn't even notice the ship.
Our cameras are not studying the woods. They're studying a nice place to land.
Lift up so you can see over the tree line. The first thing you see other than the trees is it.
It's what?
It's not that big. It's big, but it ain't that fucking big. It's prone, mind you. It's on a slab waiting to be rolled.
Or if it takes too much effort to lift your ship, follow me.
Come with me, she says to the dancing girls as well as the medic that came along with them.
I levitate across so as to not trip over the uneven ground.
Smart girl.
Shadow to your choice.
I'll head that way.
Okay, you lead her over to where the critter that you all managed to take down is bound. And she looks at it and looks at you and says, "You've done this."
Of course.
I gasp.
The
I've never seen
a proud
such a
race
thing.
of war.
Also, money grubbers.
What is it?
No.
It's a Gaian parasite. Whisper's one of the E2. That's what they told us it was.
She shivers.
It is a beast of old legend.
This is nothing compared to what we can do.
Well, we might have you prove that. Take the beast and bring it closer to the ship that my masters may see it.
Heave.
I get in position to roll it.
We'll just drag it by the ropes.
And yes, that tone was actually her tone.
Heave. Heave.
Okay, it takes a bit of work and a lot of E2 pushing, but you managed to bring it over toward where the ship is so that it's within range of the cameras. My masters, the people whom I serve, those who I honor, she says now that she realizes she's in camera range and can be heard very clearly. Those which my servitude is dedicated to, find this to be an appropriate offering. Now, the question is, how many of your people will be willing to come with us to start learning our way that we may come back and teach you more? And then she pauses and says, wait, I'm sorry. How is it that you know how to speak our language, she says.
Are you not speaking our language? I question.
She's speaking common tongue.
No, I know, but I'm questioning stupidly. Are you not speaking our language?
You are speaking the common tongue.
When we go and visit alien worlds, she says, looking at the camera and back at you, we don't find them to have our same language. How did you learn this?
I just talk. I don't learn. You came here, you talked, I talked back.
Could it be possible the entire race has tongues? She mutters to herself, loud enough that those that are observant can hear.
I am very confused.
Also confused.
We learned your tongue years ago. There was a vessel that landed that one of those that disembarked stayed behind because of the beauty of our people. He later revealed that this was the planet that he was from, and this is how we learned of your people.
Okay, I'll say in our language. You mean the trade language?
She just looks at you dumbfounded, not understanding.
I say in Silshi, I like to eat meat.
She doesn't understand you either.
Hell yeah.
I clear my voice and I say, oh, that person long ago taught the language to us.
Oh, well, so it was a pirate ship that arrived on our planet, and one of the pirates said they were originally from this world. And
the one with the sharp fangs and stripes?
No, the pirate. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he was in our legends. He came here long ago. There's not as much known about him as others of legend, but he was very intimidating, but very fun.
Very
Well,
helpful.
Fun.
Baron Deloric, the head of the Mercantile Marines. Yes, a very charismatic fellow, isn't he?
Yes.
He does like periodically visiting our world because we have the most beautiful women, she says as she eyes the men in the crowd, on our planet. We pride ourselves with the beauty of the women that perform on our world. Well, except for those that work in the other areas, and she kind of looks down and away and realizes she shouldn't have said that and looks back up. But yes, it's a wonderful place where beauty is everywhere and abounds. Now, granted, one of our colonies we had some issues with, and due to those problems, we have this lovely little place we need to have repopulated. And we're looking for those that will be willing to come to paradise to help repopulate this world.
Alright, on the telepathic link to Kirio, I ask her to link the person talking to us.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay.
I telepathically link the person talking to us.
You feel mental shielding, but it wavers for a moment and then lowers.
So is it linked? Can you hear me?
Well, let me take a look at this great grand beast. Let me take a closer look, she says as he pushes it closer to the camera and starts walking around it. I felt that, she says mentally.
You seem nervous and you're scared. What's the problem?
I am one of their guards. I do not approve of what they do. They are cruel and they're inhumane. But I have no choice.
How can we help? How can we not get stuck with them, but help you?
The only way to help me would be to be somewhere else. And you
I
will not...
begin to flirt with the other women, and I sit on the beast, and I talk about how I killed it single-handedly, or I brought it down single-handedly.
Okay, you do that.
Very impressive.
I did it myself, you know. They like to say they helped me, but in reality, I didn't really need any of them.
Anyway.
We certainly have jobs for people like you.
I don't need a job. I just need alcohol and gloves.
You say you don't approve of them. What would you say if they were gone?
There are so many things that people don't understand about what's really happening on the homeworld. She lets you know that the planet you're being brought to is one that the population was devastated on because of a plague.
Is the plague still there?
No, it's gone. According from what Kazaza said, the plague's over.
We've heard of the people that have the multiple arms like your machine there. We heard that they disrespect the rights, which she wouldn't know what that is, but that's okay.
They don't respect anyone's rights. It's strange that you would put it that way, but yes. My people have been enslaved for years. There are very few of us that no longer believe in the old ways, and I am one of them. And the reason why I am one is because I have seen something that others have not. Something that was prohibited from the broadcast. Something that was not seen because of the delays. I saw an Eshalar bleed. Gods do not bleed.
That is good news to me. We
are on a mission.
No.
Many of us have heard that they disrespect the rights, and due to this, we need to rectify that. I don't mind going ahead, but we will be there shortly anyway.
So other of your people will be willing to follow us later, are they?
Not necessarily with you, but yes.
But some must come with me this time.
I don't mind going ahead. I'm sure my brother over there wouldn't either, the white one with the red eyes.
And the boasting.
Yes, the flirtatious one.
No, would you like me to stay or come with you as well?
I'd recommend all players go at this point.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The campaign's moving in that direction.
Okay. Sure.
This is more along the lines of initially there's going to be an advanced group from the E2 homeworld, from the 12T homeworld from Silshan that are going to be going ahead, and then others will be able to join later.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to know, unless you have something to warn me about.
So I will speak, she says, so I will speak with my lords and my superiors, and those of you who wish to come with us may. This is voluntary. And you can almost hear her say at this time, but that's only through the link. But there's almost that implication in the way that she says it, that eventually they plan on getting everyone. They're just hoping to get you to come willingly.
And my character would really like to get off this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And away from this creature.
Yeah. So at this point, she invites any who are willing to go to board the ship, and the party members, obviously, as well as additional E2 that are not technically here, are going to be going with, at which point the pilot meets everyone. He's a small little black furry guy with almost looking like horns on the top of his head. You notice that he does have one of those damn bindies attached to his head as well. She leads you onto the ship and sits you down, and after sitting everyone down, she says, I'm sorry, but I must. At which point she takes out a small pack with a bunch of bindies and says, I must do this before we leave.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We have our own.
She looks at you like, what?
No, sorry.
She goes, I'm sorry, you have what? You're at this point the door to
So
the
at that
closed.
point-
At this point, the camera. You're at this point you're inside the ship, and the cameras are not on you.
God. Had me
What do
on.
you mean you have your own?
I
I
whisper-
reach into my fanny pack and I hand her some rocks I picked up earlier.
I whisper to her, I told you we have a plan.
Say, see these rocks? We like to put these on our heads sometimes too.
She removes her helmet, and you see that there's a bindi in the center of her forehead.
Okay.
And
I look at
what is this plan? She says irritably.
I look at my brother, I said, you still got the kit?
I got the kit. I always got the kit.
Kiriel, if you would be so kind, do we have any kind of shield, anyone with
Actually, Shadow Tier would be more familiar with the procedure of adding and removing them.
But is he in the room? I don't know.
Oh
if we
yeah,
can trust
he'd
him.
be there. Yeah.
But is he on our side? I don't know if we could trust him.
Okay, if the two characters want to give a little moment of their background, that was Ember's character's best friend that was just murdered brutally.
Mhm.
She's not too happy right now, and
Yeah.
Shadow Tier's character is a medic and a vet and has to heal the animals that are brutalized in the arena. He's not too happy either.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely not happy.
Well, do you know if those things send a signal to anyone, or they only receive?
They only receive. They're
Okay.
there to control us and give us pain if we are disobedient.
Okay. If you can bring your medic over here, brother, can you get that box out of your fanny pack?
Yes, I can. I toss him the box.
And I'll say, go if you'd like, you can switch this out, and it won't work on you anymore. But they think you still have it.
Okay. You guys go through the procedure, and anyone who is a Samsaran now no longer has to worry about the Eshalar controlling their little brains.
But won't they find out?
Be careful.
Unless they have to try to control you, and you don't take pain. So just
Make it-
don't do anything that would normally get you punished.
Or fake the pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'm so sorry, guys, about blurting out what I said earlier.
Well, it worked out okay.
Oh, out of character, is that big parasite earlier? Is that still alive outside?
Oh yeah, that's been brought into the underbelly of the ship, and they're going to be transporting it back up to the carrier.
Lovely.
Sorry, they would have sent out a second shuttle for that actually.
I was gonna go kill it if they were just gonna leave it there.
No, they're bringing it with. That's going to be in the friggin' arena at some point.
Yeah.
She informs you that normally they would have brought you to some planet to do a hunt to prove yourselves. That donation of that animal is sufficient.
Cool.
Out of character, Jake, you might have just got your battle with it one-on-one in the arena.
Yeah,
oh
true.
fuck yeah!
You were on camera saying you took it down yourself.
Mhm.
Oh yeah! I like the west sound of that. I
You
took
are
it down
a
once
very
with no help
strange man.
anyway.
So we all attach the things to our heads. We help the two Samsarans and the back get theirs swapped out.
Give me a second. There we go.
And also, is the pilot in this?
Yes, the
Oh.
pilot is there. You can swap characters now.
Wait, we should check if he's trustworthy. Let me read his surface thoughts.
I can't believe I got stuck in this mess. I need to get the fuck out of here.
And he's there
I'm
because he
backing
can
off that
pilot.
character, by the way.
He's there because he can pilot.
Oh.
They needed a pilot. They recruited him. He's a shuttle pilot,
Oh,
or forced
Damn
him is more
dot
the
on my
case.
forehead.
okay. So he's good. He's on the level.
Okay, we get to skip a few maps here. Okay, let's get my screen sorted out here for a moment if I can. I seem to be missing one. That's not a good thing. Okay, there we go.
All I had to do was walk away when they showed up. But no, I wanted to watch. I thought I could play with them.
Okay. After everyone's loaded on and everyone's squared away, and after the wonderful bindies have been swamped out.
I take the old bindies and put them in my fanny pack.
No,
Don't
okay.
interrupt when he's narrating.
In a different,
Make sure you don't get them mixed up, dude.
yeah, in a different pouch.
So in any case, the ship blasts off, and you get one final look of your planet from orbit as you slowly move away. And unfortunately,
Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah, it's a thing.
It's a blue mess.
I've
Just
seen
wait till
better.
you see our planet.
Yeah, let me move this. Actually, I can't move that on the screen, can I? Let me zoom out a
I'm
little
a
bit.
farmer. Like this is like the first time I've seen the planet outside.
Well, this is the first time. Almost. Well, no. So no. Yeah, this group of V2, and nobody's seen it from orbit before. But you see your small little world with the cracked backside of it, where this giant plant is reaching out towards the stars, trying to reach out towards the sky. And after a while, you manage to dock with the main ship, the transport. And after docking with the transport, you take flight. And it's an interesting view out the window as you pass through a vast nebula, passing by other worlds on the way to your final destination. At which point you
Wow.
dock with a massive orbital platform, massive space station. And you dock there for a little bit, and she talks to a few folks, and they have you, quote, quote, processed. Which means basically they take you into showers and have you cleaned and bathed, and they spray you with floral scented nastiness.
Thank
This is the
goodness. Those
most
people stink.
clean.
I have a panic attack.
Yeah, good choice.
It smells
I'm
nothing
the-
like
this
the
is the most clean I've ever been in my entire life.
You
I'd say.
feel almost like you're about to get like you're being prepared for dinner a little bit, but you know, that might just be foreboding emotions.
This does not smell anything like battle.
However, the general beauty of the areas on board the station, as well as the ones that are promised, are not what you're greeted to when you arrive on the planet. As you go and end up going down the planet. Actually, hang on. Let me have you fly over a couple areas first. Here we go. Let me grab the marker here. As you fly into the planet, there's a couple regions that you fly over on the way in. Upon asking, you find out that the first one is a foundry where they engineer their weapons of war, and the second is their industrial district. And after passing both of these regions, you head to what had been the old slums in the city here. In the center, towards two of the largest buildings in the area, there's a massive dome, which you're informed is where they have their arena combat. That's really where most of the income comes from, is people that basically do pay-per-view to watch the feeds of the battles. This is a major form of where their income comes from.
I begin to salivate.
And let's get to, there we go. And you actually land and you are led into, there we go. The slums is where you actually land. And you notice upon arrival that there's very few people. You're informed that most of them were taken out by the plague. And she leads you to, after taking a train, a fucking bizarre experience that would cause massive culture shock if it weren't for the psionic training apparatus giving you basic knowledge of what this shit is. You end up being told to find yourself residences within an old residential block. There we go. And now we're on this one.
So we can just go anywhere and sleep.
Pick yourself a house, yeah. Basically, there's also some industrial areas. There's some old commercial areas and what have you as well. But for now, pick yourselves apartments.
Out of character, the people here who lived here are probably dead now. So that's why.
Yes, there are. The corpses have been cleaned up.
Oh, dude, I like this big one up top.
Well, decide which apartments you want to put yourself in, and this is about the end of the first chapter. Well, the first section at least. The first
So,
plot section.
Nodvik, you're living in your house is just a room with sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
not used to the
treating
softness
myself.
of the bed.
Well, there will basically you'll have to provide your own bedding at this point. You'll have to earn yourself a better station in society to get an upgrade in living arrangements.
I'm not used to the softness of the bed, so I sleep on the couch.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing. You should ask, what's your character's
Narataki.
Narataki, where she lives. Good grief. Yeah. She's got a nice place.
I
I
sleep
really don't
in the
understand
tub
how you can
full of
live this
water.
way.
Yeah.
I fill the tub up with water and sleep in it.
You can do that if you really want.
I apologize for the.
I'm slightly too long for the tub too, so my legs are hanging out.
I apologize for the accommodations, and I really hope that y'all can improve your station quickly.
The hell are you
These
talking
have
about? This is
walls.
great.
These have walls. This is strange.
What is this? Bath.
She rolls her eyes. She actually asks, it says that your needs right now will be tended to. She's going to ask if basically Amber's character and Vincent's character will assist you in this. And they're also going to have Java help out too. Sorry, Javi help out as well. Which was the other dancing girl, the one that did not get herself killed.
I say this is more than. I mean, this is amazing. I cannot believe.
It's unfortunate that these apartments were once all occupied. And unfortunately, the plague came. There were many that were left open. We've relocated some of the inhabitants, but this small housing block was set aside for the introduction of your people to our society.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
I open the fridge and look inside.
What's inside the fridge?
It's empty. It's all been cleared out, but yeah, it's fully functional.
Damn it.
Yeah, since she's not going to use the bed, I think my Pajna.
Oh, we will make sure that you have basic supplies, food, water, beverage, etc., delivered to you until you finish climatizing and are able to become functional members of our society.
Beverage? What kind of beverage are we talking?
Water.
Damn it.
Predominantly water.
I don't like this place.
Maybe. Try to get over my culture shock and ask, like, so what jobs will we be doing?
Well, that will be determined over time. Each of you will be tested for your skills, abilities, talents, things that you're able to do, to figure out how you're a best fit with our society. We are, at the heart of all things, a meritocracy.
I see.
Explain meritocracy.
Your role in life will be based upon the merit that you have, your ability to perform tasks, where you are best suited, where your merit lies. She looks around. You'll know when they're looking.
I'm good at killing things.
Let me find. I'm actually looking for something.
What's the ground floor like of the building that I'm in?
Let's see. Now, which one are you in? Oh, there we go.
The bottom left.
Oh, the ground floor is just an empty studio. It's mostly ruins.
I mean,
they had to demolish part of it because of the plague.
I mean, literally the floor. What's the floor?
The
Based
floor.
on lookout, it looks like the one that's
the
right
lower
next to it.
the lower floor is cement.
Cement. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way to dig a hidey hole, a meeting place.
A cabinet?
That'll work.
Oh, a meeting place. I don't know.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! I
meeting
don't
place.
have that ability yet. Damn it! Fuck.
Okay.
Out of character, I really wanted to punch a hole in the wall between my bathroom and my living room.
Okay.
Is there a closet or anything under the stairs that could be used?
Actually, there might be some storage under the stairs.
Yeah. Use that.
Yep. With exception of Narataki, who has other things to deal with because she is like a dancer, the rest of you will, yeah.
Out of character, can I use surveillance to like scan for anything weird in the building?
Yep.
Okay.
That'd
I
be
use
alarm.
surveillance
That'd be alarm
to-
defense's skill, actually. But yeah.
Oh, you mean like devices and bugs? Okay.
I'm not looking for anything like hidden. More of just like stuff that is a little weird, like maybe a camera or something.
No, you're not going to find stuff like that with that kind of skill. No.
Okay.
That's not what that skill's for.
Okay.
And let me find.
Well, if there is nothing under the staircase in the way of just a wall, I'm going to make a room happen.
Give me a moment here. I'm trying to find something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. I'm just going to basically break open an area under the stairs if there's nothing but a wall, if there's not already there, and then cover that with some form of blanket or cloth.
Let's see now. Where the hell did I put the damn thing? Let's go to all. Screwed. Sorry, I'm trying to find a graphic. Minimize characters. What am I looking at? Okay, I'm on the wrong screen. That'd be why. Okay. There we go. Okay. Amber, momentarily put yourself in one of these. It doesn't matter which one.
I don't see myself.
Yeah. Here, down toward the bottom of the
Oh,
map.
there we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Left a cup out there.
I don't want to touch anything.
I don't blame you. Okay, here we go. Okay, and we'll have it come through the main door. Okay, there we go. Object has entered the room.
Did I bow to it?
Yep. And it sits there and signals its approval and informs you that your presence has been requested.
And I thank it.
And it will then lead you the way. Any other E2 may want to take notice of this strange object. This is how the Eschalar will be communicating to people. These probes. Move it up to the center here, so because everyone will notice her being led away. And move that up here so everyone can see the damn thing. Yeah, there we go. Super annoying high-tech things. Let me actually expand it so you can.
So are all these houses connected? or-
That's what the icon. That's what the fucking things look like, and they pulse whenever they're talking.
That's not really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, well, they don't really give a shit. They're not the ones that are manufacturing them.
Yeah, why does it have a lizard-like double lens?
It just does.
Hey, what did you say? Got something
It's
against
floating-
lizards?
It's a floating
Nothing
robotic
against
eyeball.
lizards, but why would a race of non-lizard people make a giant eyeball?
It blinks
that has a double
sideways.
lens?
It blinks sideways, man. It doesn't actually blink top bottom. It blinks sideways.
Plus, the fractal patterns might be pretty.
Yeah.
It just looks like a building burning down.
It could. There we go. And get that off the screen. And that leads you out of here, and there we go. Okay, and that's it for session 1, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
And for those of you that came in last minute, sorry that the tail end of this was short. The next one will certainly be longer. Okay. Let's see now.
I have a character question about how my marksman skill is used.